Jacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake.
Yeah. Just another ho-hum night at the G1C. Another, whatever night in this pretty mild, drama-free season. Is there anything I'm missing, Drapes? Anything going on that I'm missing tonight?
Dude, it's wild, man. Everybody's on edge right now. We got Fox return. We got TNT and ESPN warring with each other. Personalities, my boy Kendrick Perkins. Like, dude, why can't we just all get along, right? You know what I mean? Why can't it just be a nice, easy, smooth day? Instead, it's all about the drama, and I'm here for it, Whitey. I'm ready for the smoke today.
Yeah, and you didn't mention Stephen A. and LeBron.
Oh, yeah. LeBron wasn't having that, man. And so, yeah, man, we got to get into all of it, man. It's a great Friday, actually. The sun is out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big game here tonight. The fan base is fired up. I'm cool with it, man. I'm ready for that smoke out here today.
Drapes, to what extent do you think the whole basketball world is watching this game tonight? I know it's not on national TV. A lot written about it today, obviously. How many eyes are on this game tonight nationally?
The whole basketball world, you say, huh?
Well,
I haven't looked at the full slate of NBA games, if you will, Whitey. But, I think basketball fans are no doubt interested in this. But I will say this, because we know what it is, Kings fans. This ain't leading Sports Center. This ain't going to be talked about on NBA TV for 2 or 3 segments. I think this is more of a regional thing and it should be bigger nationally. But I think, the passion is running deep here locally more so than the interest nationally in tonight's game.
Were you surprised by how many big national stories there were today about De'Aaron's return? Of course, The Athletic, Anthony Slater, the co-author, joins us today at 5. And then we had ESPN, and the gentleman who wrote that story, I saw he's sitting right down there tonight.
Oh, he's in the building tonight?
Yeah. Yes.
Michael C.
Did any of that? Yes.
Should I put out the bat signal to Michael C. to come up or what, fellas?
Sure.
Yeah,
why not? Tell him to swing on by, man. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Jay, make it happen, big fella. Our guy Jay obviously can get any guest in the world to come on our show. And so, why not? Why not?
Yeah, I got to say, Drapes, I wonder why the Kings are letting the other side of it, if you will. Everyone on every incident like this, there's 2 sides. They're letting Fox's camp drive the narrative. And I'm not saying what Fox's camp is saying isn't true, but I don't know why the Kings aren't being a little more forthright with just saying, hey, here's how it was from our point of view.
Well, I think they have to an extent, on the initial reporting after the trade for De'Aaron Fox. I think they put out the message De'Aaron Fox was not going to re-sign here in Sacramento. And, honestly, it doesn't do, in my opinion, the organization any kind of good to get into a back and forth.
You don't want to see
in the media. Yeah, exactly. De'Aaron had his say. And after today, hopefully, everybody will move on and get back to actual basketball. But, from an organizational standpoint, and you don't want to badmouth a legend also.
Right.
And not only will that affect his standing with the organization going forward, but also potential free agents, guys that want to come here. You don't want to look like a petty, low-class organization to the rest of the league.
Yeah, fair enough. But one thing we all know the Kings want to do is beat them tonight. That's the thing. With all these other distractions and other issues and all the drama swirling around, this is a big game tonight, Drapes. I don't have to tell you that. This is a game the Kings need to win.
This is a massive game tonight,
yes.
Obviously just for the sake of beating De'Aaron, but the standings as well. You know what I mean? You're trying to, keep pace in the Western Conference. You got this one, then you got the tough one coming up against the Clippers, then the Knicks. I mean, when you look at the upcoming schedule, Whitey, this is one of those we checked in the, all right, that should be a win column. You come out here and lose this one after you lost to Denver the way you did. And now I firmly believe we're locked in pretty much to a top 10 spot, a play-in spot, because I really think Dallas will come crashing back down to earth.
They might not even stay in 10th. They might slip out of 10th.
I think they'll slip out. Phoenix will jump in. But I need 7th or 8th at worst.
Yes,
if I'm a Sacramento Kings fan right now.
I know I have Drape's takes coming up, but Jay and I went back and forth a little bit yesterday. On the one hand, 3-1 road trip. thumbs up. But that was a tough loss against the Nuggets.
It really was. And, I heard a little bit of you guys yesterday, and, I heard you beating your chest and, you got to win that game. You got to have that win. And I'm like, why'd he calm the hell down, man? It's one game. You're not going to go 22-0 the rest of the way. You're going to have some loss. You're going to have some games that you win. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a Boston. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a Knicks. Maybe it's a Cleveland, and so I need to wait till the end of the season. Now, if we're in 10th spot, then you could be like, remember that game against Denver? We should have had that one. I need to do a deep dive on what the hell happened in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was not happy with the officiating at all. And I don't know if you guys could tell during the broadcast, but me and Katie
got that sense.
Did you get that sense? Anytime I'm texting you and Jay during the game.
That was stunning. Like, wait, he's doing the game.
Like, I had to vent to somebody. I was like, I said, this officiating is atrocious.
It's despicable.
Like, and I'll talk about it in Drape Stakes coming up. But, our guys are out there battling. They were battling that game, Whitey. Shorthanded, but they gave the Nuggets all they could handle, and it hurt me. I felt like we were robbed that game.
Yeah, I'll stand on the beating on my chest just because of Coach Christie's reaction after the game.
I thought and I heard you, Whitey. I thought he was saying it's going to stick with him for a while because of the officiating.
Maybe so.
Like that's the way I took it. And I was in the post-game press conference. He was trying to bite his tongue.
Right.
And not really, go in on the officiating. But the vibe I got was it's going to sting because we got robbed almost. But he didn't want to come out. That's right. How I took that soundbite.
I've never seen a coach pause as long as he did.
Yeah.
And I understand that's not a criticism. But when he looked at the box and about a full 10 seconds where he was trying to figure out, know what I want to say, can't say that. So what do I say? And he just said, the free throw discrepancy. Then he moved on.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough one. And here's the thing. I allowed myself during that broadcast to wonder and think about, man, if we win this game. I even turned to Katie during one of the timeouts or at halftime. I said, if we win, it might be like a couple of thousand fans waiting for us at the airport when we return. Like the city was going to be turned up. Instead, we lost that game. Now we got the De'Aaron Fox drama happening tonight. This is a critical point, a critical weekend for this season for the Sacramento Kings.
The Spurs are not a very good team. What are they, 26-34? Something like that. But they've been scoring a lot of points their last 3 games, so I'm a little concerned about that. I think they're averaging about 126 plus over their last 3. That's still a work in progress for the Kings. So I know the Kings should win tonight. They're home. It's a big game, but I'm not coming in here thinking, this will be easy tonight, Drapes. Maybe I should, but I'm not overly confident.
No, because to your point, sure, it's no Victor Wembanyama tonight, but they got some players.
Yes, they do.
We've seen Devin Vassell come in this building.
He loves his
and
place.
Put up big numbers.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Stephon Castle. And here's the thing, too, about a revenge game, Whitey, and you know this. A lot of times the player coming back wants to play well, but also his teammates.
Team building excellence.
Want to get the W for him. And so I think you're going to see a Spurs team that's locked in, that's going to be emotional, looking to take it to Sacramento. Fortunately, for the Kings, Whitey, even though they're coming off a road trip, we heard DeMar's comments after the game on Wednesday night. He's pissed off. He's chomping at the bit, ready to get back out here. He's looking to breathe some fire. So I think it's going to be a high-level, very intense basketball game today.
Yeah, Malik's absence will be felt tonight. Hopefully he's going to be okay. That's one of those injuries, in my opinion. It sounds like maybe nothing, sprained toe, but as you know, anybody who runs around at all, you play tennis or anything, sprained toe can linger and it can be an issue. So hopefully this rest will help get better as soon as possible, but they'll miss him tonight.
Yeah, they'll miss him, and I thought they missed him, obviously, the other night against Denver, especially in the fourth quarter. And to your point about the injury, you hear toe. It's like, all right, it's a toe.
But you got 10 of them.
Anytime the organization puts out an update, an official update on a player's status in terms of a press release, that's when it's more than just a little, give it a day or two, he'll be fine. You know what I mean? They said he's day to day, and we'll see. We're going to need him tonight. Obviously, he's not playing, but maybe Sunday he's back. But, losing Malik expose some flaws of the roster. Too.
Yeah,
I would imagine. The
Drapes, real quick, did you have an
Drapes
opportunity
takes.
to my pal Whitey? We're on a slight delay here. Did you have an opportunity to see him in shoot around, Drapes? Malik?
Not today. Not today.
What about on the road?
The other day on the road, he did not take part in shoot around.
Gotcha,
I thought he was getting some treatment. He wasn't even on the floor with the guys the other day. And so that's how I got the heads up. Yeah, he's not going to play today. And so he was in the team film session and everything, but he was not at shoot around the other day.
Yeah, I don't think he was at shoot around today either.
Really? Yeah, I didn't check out today. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if you're not playing, you're probably in the back getting treatment or in the, the facility getting treatment or something like that.
Yeah, we got Drapes Takes coming up next from the Gold One Center on this consequential Friday. It's the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
It's taste on a whole new level at Sky River Casino. With 18 elevated restaurants, bars, and lounge destinations that include SR Prime Steakhouse, 32 Brews, Dragon Boat, and The Market. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun and experience the height of hospitality. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Spring is in the air, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping for new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, Aggie fans, Coach Les here. ESPN is coming to UC Davis this Saturday night to nationally broadcast our home finale versus UC San Diego. Let's pack the University Credit Union Center. It's an 8 p.m. tip. Come see T.Y. Johnson and all of our seniors one last time before we head to Vegas for the Big West Tournament.
Come root on the UC Davis men's basketball team this Saturday night and show the nation what Aggie Hoops is all about. Get your tickets now at UCDavisAggies.com. Go Ags.
The half years that he's been here, and he's gotten us to the playoffs and things like that. So, I just think that he gave his all when he was here. So, I just hope for the best reception for him.
As Uncle Keegan, are you excited to see Rain and Poppy?
Yeah. I've missed them. I'm used to seeing them after the games and stuff. So it's been a change, and obviously, I've talked to them and things like that since our time being apart. So I'm just looking forward to seeing his family for sure.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Keegan Murray, who said today he's hoping that De'Aaron gets a respectful reception tonight. That's nice. It's not going to happen, but that's a nice thought from Keegan. By the way, speaking of Keegan, last week we were talking about Keegan, and I mentioned to Jerry Reynolds that I thought Keegan, if he reaches his potential, can be a Sean Elliott type player. Jerry said, yeah, I got kind of like that. So Sean Elliott is going to join us at 3. Of course, is doing TV with the Spurs. So we'll see what he thinks of that comparison. Also, Sean Cunningham is going to join us from Fox 40. A lot of media here today, Drapes. Big night.
Big night, man. And you can feel the vibes of ESPN and the Athletic dropping bombshell articles as well. You know,
yes.
They were working on that. Then they, dropped it out this morning. And so, no, and how about our boy Sean Cunningham? He'll be joining us in a minute. Like, he's been here since shoot around. He's sticking around pretty much. Like, this is one of those days where you're in the gym for 10 hours like we are today. Like, you don't want to leave, man, because this is the epicenter of Sacramento right now.
And right now, it's time for Drapes Takes.
Calm down, Lion. Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
All right, Whitey, I'm going to start off like this. I know people listening in at work, driving home, in their cars, whatever, but you're also probably watching on YouTube. So I'm going to look directly here into the camera at my YouTube friends. Shout out to all you guys and tell you what I think about this current situation with our Sacramento Kings. First of all, I'm going to start about what happened on Wednesday out there in Denver. Me and Katie courtside on the call for the game. Let me start off by saying, and I've been sitting on this for 48 hours here, Whitey.
Here we go.
That officiating was the worst officiated game I've seen in my Sacramento career.
How about that?
And here's the thing about it, Whitey. It hurts. People say, well, Drapes, you only been here a few years. You don't know. I tell you what, sitting courtside watching that game, watching what happened against Denver, watching Jokic flop around like a fish out there and seeing our boys battle as hard as they did and to get robbed by the officials, I wanted to jump out there myself. I wanted to go out there and take a hard foul or something like that. If you think this is a foul, Mr. Ed Malloy, let me show you what a foul looks like. I thought, even though we lost the game, even though we could have had a more fluid offense, if you will, I thought the officiating took the Kings out of their game. And Doug said afterwards, the players got to play. Let me handle the officials. But it's hard, Coach Christie, when guys are competing hard. Like you never see DeMar DeRozan get as upset as he did yet that game. He got upset back-to-back plays, it looked like, Whitey, where he was jumping up and down and thought he got fouled. Come on now. And so I was incensed. And I don't know if you guys could tell it on the broadcast or not, but me and Katie were upset. I was upset because our guys laid it on the line, and in my opinion, they got it taken away from them. Jamal Murray, 15 free throws. Sacramento as a team, 14. 27-5, the free throw advantage after the first quarter. Sacramento took fewer threes than Denver. How the hell did Denver get more free throws? And I understand they committed some fouls on three-point shots. The Valanciunas foul right before the end of the quarter can't happen. But the one Keon had late in the game on Jamal Murray, that was a clean block, Whitey.
Yeah.
That was a clean block. And those kind of plays ruin momentum. It changes the outcome. If DeMar gets fouled twice, he goes to the free throw line and knocks down frees, and that changes the complexion of the game. And so, as you can see, I'm still fired up and still pissed off at the officiating the other night because I'm sitting there courtside. I'm seeing our guys give their blood, sweat, and tears out there to get it taken away by the officials. All right, I had to get that off my chest because usually, Whitey, I'm not one to blame the officials.
No.
The officials make mistakes.
Right.
Good and bad.
Part of the game.
You know, it's part of the game. But in that case, I thought they had a direct effect on how we played and the outcome of the game. With that being said, I got to give Coach Christie some credit. Putting Keegan Murray on Jokic, putting Jake Laravia on Jokic was a stroke of genius. And I knew Doug was going to do that. And I'm like, dude, why are you going to do that? You know, I talked to him during shoot around. Why would you do that? Why would you put Keegan? He said, well, I want to add a big guy, you know, behind him for some help. And, you know, and the Lakers did it to Jokic a couple of weeks ago and beat him. And so he said, you know what? I think that's the way. And Jokic still put up some numbers, but he looked so frustrated.
Yeah, it worked.
Frustrated. It actually worked. Let me ask you this, though, as we continue Drape's take. You know I'm not a fan of Denver. You know I don't like that squad. But seeing Jokic up close and personal, flopping, complaining, moaning, trying to draw fouls, I lost a little bit of respect for Jokic. Just a little bit. Great player, best player in the world, but he doesn't have to do all the antics. There was one play, he's running down the court. Our guys are trying to, you know, keep him from position.
Right.
And he does like a little swim move, you know, and Katie didn't say it was a swim. I'm calling it a swim. And our guy got called for the foul. I felt like he got the benefit, the superstar whistle, more than any player I've seen in a while.
Yeah, he's good at exaggerating the contact. And to your point, your first point, as we all know, if you had Jake Laravia or Keegan or somebody make contact or Keon, they were going to call the foul 15 feet out on Jokic. But at the other end, if the Kings took the ball to the basket, Lord help you.
Right. And how the hell does Jamal Murray, who averages, 3 free throw attempts a game, get 15 against us? Come on now. The officials got to be better. You got to be better. All right, let me move on also to what I saw on that road trip with the Sacramento Kings. This is a new era of Sacramento Kings basketball. You're not going to win every game, Sacramento Kings fans. I get that. But what we're seeing from this team is that they're buying in, they're playing hard, and even in a loss like the other night, I'm applauding their effort. They're a team to be proud of. And ever since I got here, Whitey, all I've heard from fans, media members, people in the organization, if this team plays hard, this fan base will support you. And this team has been playing hard the last gritty team, hard-nosed team, hard-fought team. They give effort every night. And I expect, as much as De'Aaron Fox is going to get whatever he gets tonight, this fan base is going to rally tonight around their team because they are fired up and proud of the guys. Which brings me to tonight. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited because De'Aaron Fox, 7+ years here in Sacramento, an all-time great. What did he finish in our list? Number 4, I think, all-time
way
Sacramento.
up there,
Yeah, he was a top 5 guy in Sacramento. Here's what I'm asking Kings fans to do. I'm not going to tell you how to fan, as Whitey says. A fan is going to be a fan. If you want to boo De'Aaron Fox. If you want to cheer De'Aaron Fox. But I think during the tribute video, I think he deserves an ovation. I would, if I'm going to choose to boo, I would boo him during the introductions. I would boo him when he touched the ball. But when it comes to the tribute video, if the organization shows one, you got to respect what he did. You know, it didn't end the proper way. The way he went out isn't good. Some of the comments we read in some of these articles, not good at all. But for about 7 years, De'Aaron Fox put up with a lot behind the scenes, put up with a lot in terms of winning and losing. For one night, maybe a 90-second tribute video, Whitey, I think we need to honor De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's like Jerry said yesterday. I would applaud him at the beginning of the game during the tribute video, what have you. And then he said, I ain't going to applaud for him at all after that.
Right.
You want to beat him.
Exactly. And here's the thing, too. We talked about the Spurs wanting to win for De'Aaron Fox. If I'm the Kings, this is a guy that wanted out. Let's call it what it is. He wasn't going to resign. That should piss me off if I'm Sacramento, the Kings players. This dude checked out. He wanted to go elsewhere. And it was only one team he wanted to go to, and he got his wish. You ain't coming in our building tonight, De'Aaron, getting your 30 points, getting your 40 points, and getting a win. Especially after the way we lost to Denver. I need our guys to lock in tonight, not only for themselves, not only for this fan base, but to send a message to De'Aaron Fox. Sure, you may be with the girl of your dreams right now, but we're still the better squad. We're still the team.
That is the tastiest subplot to this whole thing. How are his former teammates going to react to him tonight during the game? Can't wait to see.
Because here's the thing. We just heard from Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray's a fine kid. Great guy. Tight with De'Aaron Fox. Keegan, I don't give a damn. Tonight, lock his ass up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And then y'all can break bread, do dinner, hug the kids, whatever afterwards. But on this night, Keegan, on this night, DeMar, Zach, whoever it may be, Keon, you got to lock the kid up. You can't let him come in here and have the last laugh. It's already an insult that he wanted out, that he is with a new team, that he's with the girl of his dreams, if you will. Now you're going to let him come in your house, eat your food, put his feet up on the table, and drop 30 or 40 and hamper your playoff chances? Nah, that ain't happening. You may lose to some other teams, but you ain't losing tonight. You cannot lose this game tonight.
Right. Defending your house, as important as that is, it's never more important than it is tonight.
Right, exactly. You know how it is, Whitey. You were a popular kid in school. You dated all the pretty girls. You know what I mean? Maybe you got your heart broken on prom night or something like that. But when you go back to that high school reunion, you're strutting around with your chest out.
That's
you
right.
Got your new wife with you and everything.
That's right.
Life is good. That's how we got to approach it tonight, Sacramento. Sure, De'Aaron, you wanted to go elsewhere, fine. We're better off without you right now. And so whether it's Keegan, whether it's Keon, take it personal tonight, young fellas. Come out there locked in and deliver this win.
Let's go.
That's Drape Steaks.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sweating right now. Oh, my God. That's Drape Steaks is brought to you by
Alsco Uniforms. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms.
Yeah, that sets the tone for tonight. Sean Cunningham from Fox 40 joins us with more. I know he was around when De'Aaron Fox spoke to the media today, so how did that go? We'll find out next on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back, He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, Kings fans, join us for a watch party and live game night broadcast with the high flyer Henry Turner and me at Tom's Watch Bar today from 5:30 to 6:30 against San Antonio. Enjoy 360-degree viewing, surround sound, prizes, and more. Tom's Watch Bar.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-235-5588. That's 800-235-5588. 800-235-5588.
One ticket.
2 huge shows.
The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy hauler, and motorhome. And loads of ATVs too. 2 shows. 1 massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. On now at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at 2hugeshows.com.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Graves feeling like he has a long day today, a long night, and he does, obviously, doing the show, and he's got the play-by-play duties tonight.
Pre and post
duties tonight, pardon me. Yeah, I thought on a Friday you'd be doing it, but okay.
Yeah, I should be. For the big games, they should have me, but not today.
He got his feet up, Whitey. Don't give him no love.
Yeah.
You gonna be having dinner by the time tip-off pop out.
You're right.
Sean Cunningham joining us, of course, from Fox 40. How long have you been here today, Sean?
At the arena, I got here 10:15.
Look at that.
And there was a little bit of a wait outside the building before we could get in. And,
Oh, great.
Really? What was the media contingent like at shoot-arounds?
it was the largest of the year.
Really?
For a pregame shooter, not for practice. For people to know, practice obviously, more in the afternoon. But the walkthrough, the pregame shoot-around stuff is a little bit different, obviously, the practices. And typically, you might see one or two stations, maybe a visiting beat writer or two. This one was quite size. Oh, hello.
Yeah, hello. Sorry about that.
Camera, hello.
Be there.
Yeah, a little quite sizable, a little bit uncomfortable at times with cameras and tripods and bumping into people. But yeah, I mean, we were
people that aren't normally there, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot
Like
of people
news reporters here too, or anything, or is it mostly sport?
Mostly sport. I mean, ESPN is here. They're represented, of course. I mean, Michael C. Wright, who just had the piece in ESPN.com, and he's definitely around the Spurs all the time. But yeah, they were here, and I think a lot of the more national folks will be here later tonight. But if you haven't seen the people who know the court across from the visitors' bench, right over there where you see Sacramento, if you're watching on the baseline, that whole corner was occupied as De'Aaron Fox faced that corner, and we all gathered around him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What are you expecting tonight from a crowd reaction, if you will, to De'Aaron?
As a lifelong Sacramentan, and I know Whitey's been here forever as well. I mean, I feel like Kings fans have a classy reputation for a reason.
Yeah.
I think they can look at a broad piece of work and kind of take it for respect for what it is. And obviously there's been some crazy moments lately, but I feel like it's going to be overwhelmingly positive. There's going to be a tribute video. There's going to be, they're going to represent him, I think, the right way. I think there's definitely going to be a chorus of boos. I think there are literally people who paid money for this game specifically to boo the guy out of the gym. So I don't tell anybody how to fan. Go do what you do. You spend your hard-earned money and you have your feelings and your emotions and all that. I think he as a player has told us he's kind of prepared for anything, and he's been booed before. I don't know quite if he's ever been the target of constant booing and all that stuff, but I think he's ready to accept whatever. And why do you remember this? Mitch Richmond didn't have the greatest exit. People thought he'd quit, and he had demanded a trade for a greater part of a year. His jersey's hanging in the rafters.
Right.
There's plenty of guys who didn't want to be here and had unceremonious endings, and they're all typically throughout the course of Kings history are treated rather well.
Yeah.
Certainly there's a few that aren't.
There haven't been a lot of ceremonious endings. Most of them have been unceremonious, and then eventually everybody gets over it. But let me follow up on that. And you touched on this, but you covered De'Aaron a long time. Yeah. What did you think of the way he responded to the questions and is responding to, the potential drama tonight?
Yeah. And there's Draper, that saying, point to the lie.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like he's been pretty honest. Now, look, I think some of the things that people fell in love with De'Aaron Fox, he and I say all the time, different years, but we're born on the same day. And I have a dry, sarcastic, smart aleck kind of
wit,
sense of humor and wit. Yeah. I feel like we could also agree that he definitely has that, probably 10 times more than myself. And I feel like people used to love that about him, and all he's doing is now directing that in a different way. And I don't feel that there's a lot of dishonesty there. I feel he's speaking from the heart. I think he can certainly have handled things a little bit better on the way out, but I loved what he told Michael C. Wright, just as a casual observer, and just saying, it's my career, and clearly him being out there, being bothered by not only the decision to fire Mike Brown, but then having nobody explain it. It was certainly to all three of us. We were wondering the same thing. Why are you leaving your players out to dry? And, Fox is kind of the poster child for that. Man, I get it. I get it, certainly. And I think by virtue of not hearing from people immediately, and it created a lot of this. And unfortunately, he had to play the guy in the black hat looking like the bad guy.
Let me ask you this, because in today's day and age, it seems like we're looking for somebody to blame.
Yeah.
Whether it's the organization, De'Aaron Fox, somebody has to be the bad guy. In your honest opinion, is there a bad guy in this situation, or is it just the nature of basketball? It had run its course. both sides, whether it's the organization or the De'Aaron, probably could have done some things differently. How do you view it?
That's such a
keep it real,
yeah,
Sean.
man.
Your credential ain't going to get revoked, big fella. You can keep it real.
I'll say this, man. Like
he says that, but if he doesn't like your answer, he will snap
yeah.
it.
I don't want to sound like a politician here. I want to have more conversations to really be able to truly say, all right, there's the bad guy in this all, because there's a lot of things that I think people don't know.
Yeah.
And I think there's things that have been hinted at. And I think certainly you've got 2 national reports today that really shined a lot of light on what's going on here in both ESPN and The Athletic. But, truly here locally, there's been a lot of dysfunction, and you can always point to the dysfunction. There's been, if a player wanting stability, accountability, and all that, like, how do you get vilified for that? But you're supposed to be the guy, and being objective. You've been here almost 8 years, De'Aaron Fox. You had 1 All-Star appearance. You got in as an injury reserve, not to take away because you put up numbers, but it's hard to make an All-Star team in Sacramento.
Yeah.
1 playoff appearance that, was unceremonious exit, and you gave it your all and you broke the streak. But I think there was it feels like his legacy. I've been asked a lot about what his legacy is, and it feels so incomplete. To look at a bad guy, I think it had just run its course. I really don't, in my opinion, I don't think there's totally a bad guy in all this.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly you've got decision makers in the front office and ownership, and they're put in position to make this team a championship contender and sustain playoff success. You don't have that. So at the end of the day, I feel like it was a necessary exit. But the one thing that just continues to bother me every time I see it, De'Aaron Fox not committing to Sacramento to go for a supermax. The possibility of going to a supermax shouldn't have been vilified, shouldn't have been looked at as you're not committing to Sacramento. Because if he gets a supermax, if he gets an all NBA, the money is completely different. You get to the summer, and then that extension should still be there in theory, right? I think somewhere along the line of that, you decided, well, I don't really, here we are the Kings meddling in this mediocrity, and all of a sudden now maybe decisions are changed. They either want someone who's all in or not at all.
All things considered, Sean Cunningham's with us. How important is this game for the Kings tonight?
Well, I mean, they were talking about the rest of the schedule in terms of second hardest schedule the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Every game being a playoff atmosphere to really kind of solidify what type of postseason run that they're going to have or any kind of success. I mean, you've got jobs on the line, both in the front office. You got jobs on the line with Doug Christie. You got an assistant coach who's on his way to Florida State soon.
Yeah.
So there are so many variables that to me, every game is important. I don't know that coming out here and, completely shutting down De'Aaron Fox and it's going to swing one way and say it's a must win, but I just feel like there's a weight to all these games. And if you look at just how huddled up all these teams are, you can't look back and say, you didn't take care of business. That being said, you're not going to go 27-0 to finish the season.
Would you agree that perhaps this game is more meaningful, putting the Fox stuff aside, but it's more meaningful because it appears to be one of your less challenging games that you have here coming up in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, you got to take care of business,
Yeah,
and that's the thing that you can't control who your opponent is, and sometimes I feel like the praise of beating a team you're supposed to beat doesn't carry the weight of when you lose to a team and says, oh, you can't, like that all of a sudden it carries so much criticism and fans react to the way that you lose to a team you're supposed to beat.
Right.
It's if I had told, like Draper, you were just on this road trip. If I had told anybody, hey, they're going to go 3-1,
we would have taken
You're taking it right now.
Everybody except this guy next to you.
3-1's great, but that last one hurt, Sean.
It does, right?
Yeah.
I get it. DeMar DeRozan had to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to find that $25,000 for the comments after the game. Sean, with that being said, obviously big game tonight, big game Sunday. How would you assess where the team is? Not the organization, but the way they've been playing as of late. Is there still reason for optimism here with 20 games left to go?
Yeah, I'm not known for being this like optimism kind of guy and glass half full all the time, just because I kind of feel like I can tell it how it is. But I feel like I'm the guy that's drinking the Kool-Aid all of a sudden.
Okay.
Not that I'm expecting them to be world beaters, but people are so far down on the team before this road trip that I was like, guys, look around. Like there's still a lot going on with this team.
Yeah.
And I think had they not snapped the playoff skid, somebody like for them to still be sort of relevant and doing what they're doing after firing their head coach and moving their franchise player, I don't know what to expect. Like nothing would surprise me at this point, but if you told me they finish 6th, I'll believe you. If you told me they fall out of the playoffs and out of the postseason play-in tournament, I'd believe you. But right now, after this road trip, they have a give a damn about them. The one thing I was the two things I was really convinced of this team, they can put up numbers, they can score with anybody, but they're also so bad that they can't make any stops. This road trip showed me something, guys.
They played some defense on this road trip.
Yeah.
They showed that give a damn that I've been talking about, where it's like, okay, and look, however it happens, whether it's someone like De'Aaron Fox saying how bad this organization, has treated him, or so, expectations are there, and Doug has them playing well. Guys, I never would have thought Doug Christie would have had them with this record.
Yeah, right. 19-11, Doug as a coach. I think over the 30 games. So,
and and it's funny. He starts. You guys, we were talking about this. He starts in a way where he takes over a team, and he's so optimistic, so positive. That turns a little bit. He's showing accountability. He's now starting to talk a little bit more critical of his team, but still killing them with the optimism. Has them believing.
Yeah.
So I mean, guys, I expect them to be in the conversation, and I expect them to probably fall into the play-in tournament. But I'm really anticipating anything. And boy, Jonas Valanciunas sure looks good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and here we are. It's March 7th, and the Kings are playing meaningful games. Let's enjoy it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sean Cunningham, Fox 40.
Fun, guys.
Great Kings coverage, Fox 40, of course. We got Sean Elliott top of the hour. When we come back, Kings may have gotten the type of help you don't really wish for last night. That's next from the Golden One on Sacktown Sports.
High voltage live boxing action returns to the venue on March 8th as Uppercut Promotions presents Thunder Showdown 2 with 8 big fights on the bill featuring top level veterans and the best in up and coming new names. Scheduled fighters include names like cruiserweights Blake McKernan and Sean Miller. It's a night of great boxing action you won't want to miss. It's Thunder Showdown 2 coming March 8th to the venue at the Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Fight card subject to change. See Thunder Valley website for a scheduled lineup. Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPfest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPfest.com.
Meanwhile at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do! Yeah! Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speed vary, not guaranteed.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. All right, I know what you're thinking. Here we go again, another Drapes commercial for his guys and girls down there at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. But trust me, listen to this. Whether you're in the market for a new vehicle or a pre-owned vehicle, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, they'll take care of you. Trust me, they got certified pre-owned vehicles starting at 3.49 APR on select 2021, 22, and 23 models. And take it from me. When you go to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, you leave out feeling like you're valued, like they trust you, like they care for you. Matter of fact, it's like they're your family. That's right. So for over 30 years, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has been there for the entire community. And get this, it's not that far away, guys. Just a short drive down I-5, or of course, online anytime at mbfstockton.com. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton and tell them Drape sent you.
When you're overwhelmed with tax debt, deciding what to do next is a true win or lose decision. You can lose your car, your paycheck, even your retirement savings, or you can choose someone to help you win this battle with the IRS. Now is the time to tackle your tax debt, but you don't have to do it alone. Meet Priority Tax Relief, veteran-owned and the expert in tax debt resolution. Our priority is fighting for you. Our team has helped clients save millions and can reduce or even erase your tax debt. Call 800-406-1584 right now to talk to our winning team. Priority Tax Relief has a direct line to the IRS. That's right, a fast track to find out if you qualify for life-changing tax relief in just minutes. Priority Tax Relief fights to protect your money, has 5-star reviews on Google, and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Why wait? Call Priority Tax Relief for your free tax consultation. Call 800-406-1584. That's 800-406-1584. Let's make your taxes our priority. Stop your tax debt now. Call 800-406-1584.
Sacktown Sports is bringing you the biggest live events in town. Whether you're rocking out or dancing the night away, check out the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Crank it up with Steel Panther at Ace of Spades on March 15th. Then catch rising country star Alexandra Kay the next night, March 16th, also at Ace of Spades. On March 22nd, experience the magic of the Ronstadt Review featuring Jacenia at the Crest Theater. Then get ready for an epic night. Papa Roach and Rise Against take over Golden One Center March 29th, while comedy legends Jay Leno and Arsenio Hall bring the laughs to Hard Rock Live Sacramento on that same night. And for country fans, Lee Brice and Walker Hayes hit Ironstone Amphitheater on June 21st, and Parker McCullum takes the stage August 16th at the Ironstone Amphitheater up in Murphys, California. Don't miss out. Find more info and score your chance to win tickets at SacktownSports.com. The Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar. Your ticket to the best seat in the house.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win. Unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion, persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Golden One Center is crawling with media and luminaries tonight as we all get ready for De'Aaron Fox's return. Thanks to Sean Cunningham for stopping by from Fox 40. And we have Sean Elliott from the Spurs. He's going to join us at 3 o'clock. Before we get any further, Drapes, the Kings may have gotten some help last night. How they could get help tonight, we'll look at that. But, we just in that, they call it in radio, stop set, we had a Mercedes-Benz of Stockton commercial, which I'm, big fan, appreciate their patronage very much. But a couple days ago, I was driving in, might have been yesterday, and I heard one of your commercials for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, and it was about the service department. And you're talking about a red car you used to have.
Yeah.
You said, that made a noise. It was kind of, I was like, that's my bit.
Yeah, I stole that from
my bit.
Dude, imitation is the biggest form of flattery. I'm like, you know what? My sound effect was not as good as yours, though, dude. You're the king of sound effects. I couldn't do it as good. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to steal that. It's all part of the drive, guys, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Imitation.
But I did mention it to Jay, and Jay was like, what?
Yeah, I stole that one. I'll give you a cut. How about that? I'll let you use the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV one day. Go out on a date night.
I was just going to ask if you you just let me look at it for a little bit. Okay.
Look at it. That's hilarious. Yeah. But that cherry apple red Jeep Grand Cherokee.
You've told us about that before too. Yeah.
My very first car.
What did it sound like? What is
I don't know, something like that. Dude, it lasted literally 2 hours. I had that car, man. I was so upset about that. Still pissed off about that.
Yeah. So if your car's making that gargling sound, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton can help you out.
Yes.
Drapes, did the Kings get a little help last night? The type you don't want to hope for or ask for, but we got the Knicks coming in here Monday. Jaylen Brunson with a badly twisted ankle last night. Lost to the Lakers.
Yeah, and that was a tough injury. I watched it live when it happened, and I think they played tonight. He's going to be out tonight, and it did not look pretty. But that goes to a point I want to bring up about the so-called strength of schedule, Whitey.
Yeah,
on paper, yes, but you never know who's going to be in, who's out.
Right.
We got Cleveland late in the season. Cleveland might have the number 1 seed wrapped up by then. They might be resting guys. We don't know. And so, you got to take each game as it is. And I think we will be catching a break come Monday against the New York Knicks.
Yeah, man, those Lakers. We had, as I told you, as you probably know, we had Jerry on yesterday. Jerry said he caught himself watching the Lakers and enjoying it. He said he had to go take a shower.
Oh my gosh. If Jerry can enjoy a Lakers game,
right.
Shoot. Next thing you know, G-Man's going to be enjoying it too. Like, seriously. No, they're playing well. Lucas looks good. He looks good, man.
Yeah. LeBron looks good. And then that was after the game, right? That LeBron was confronting Stephen A.
Oh, that was. So I need to look at the video because somebody posted and said it was like during the timeout, actually.
Ooh.
It wasn't even after the game. Jay, I don't know if you saw this also out there on social media, but people are saying it was during the timeout.
Oh,
all the players were sitting on the bench and LeBron walked over and had some words. I need to go back and look at the film and the video a little closer.
It was in between quarters. It was third going into the fourth quarter.
Oh, is that what it was? In between quarters.
Okay.
Yeah. He actually took time out. And
so that was right after Dalton Connect made that 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'll say this. In this instance, I'm on Team LeBron. And here's why. Because when Stephen A talked about Bronny, when Bronny first, about a month or 2 ago, was struggling a little bit, and Stephen A had some harsh words, almost kind of criticizing LeBron as a dad, as a parent. And so to me, I thought at the time, Stephen A. Smith crossed the line. And so I'm all for it because a lot of times, Whitey, you know how this is. One reason I applaud you and I applaud Alan Stiles, we talk about the Kings, but we're also at the games. We're also in the locker room. We're also at the press conferences. You can't be throwing haymakers and daggers and never showing your face around the team. I've told the story about Marcus Morris. Jay, you'll remember this. I said something on the post-game show. Then the next day, I'm on the floor. My coworker's like, man, watch out. Marcus Morris is looking for you. He's like, don't go in the locker room. Well, Morris comes out onto the floor. We had some words. We exchanged, explained both of our sides. And that's my guy now. We moved on from it. And so, I'm all okay with LeBron confronting Stephen A. Smith because sometimes guys say things, especially in the today's day and age, Whitey, where hot takes are what everybody's looking for. They're looking to go viral
behind Twitter or
you're looking to go viral and looking to say some things to get some clicks and likes. And and the thing I don't like is when people say, well, I'm just doing my job. Well, there's still some class when it comes, still some respect when it comes to doing your job. And so I thought that was interesting. I woke up, had First Take on, and they started with that, and
it was great for Stephen A.
Right. And
obviously.
That's the thing I hate about the whole situation too, Whitey, because guys like Stephen A., guys like, Skip Bayless, they'll say, well, if you got a problem, come on my show and address it. You know what I mean? And it's like they want the controversy.
Right.
Because ultimately it helps them out, drives their ratings and everything like that. So
did you hear what Draymond said about Karl Anthony Towns?
I did.
That's bad.
That's bad.
Yeah. Because Cat didn't play when the Warriors were just visiting the Knicks. And then Draymond on the podcast said, well, I hear Cat wasn't there because he didn't want to face Jimmy because Jimmy was there. And turns out Cat was at a funeral.
Yeah.
And then somebody mentioned that to Draymond and he said, well, I it's what I heard. And the Draymond Green podcast will go on.
Right.
Like, wow.
He didn't apologize. Did he? He didn't say,
I don't believe he apologized. He said, that's terrible and that's awful. But the podcast must go on, and that's what I heard. It was awful.
Yeah, and Baron Davis, who does the podcast with Draymond, he tweeted out not too long ago. I got it right here. He tweeted out an hour ago, no disrespect to Cat, condolences to his family. With that being said, Whitey, there's so much media out here, so many avenues for athletes and people to voice their opinions. What happened to the days of just, you know what? I'm going to just shut up today. I'm going to just sit this one out. I'm not going to take the bait. I'm not going to engage in that. And it just feels like there's so many more opportunities for people to put their foot in their mouths now. And you lead to this kind of controversy, whether it's Stephen A., whether it's Kendrick Perkins, Charles Barkley, Draymond Green. It's just so much more opportunity to put your foot in your mouth.
Well, way back when, you probably took classes in this. They had something called journalism ethics.
Yes.
And it was
I
like
took a
there's
class.
responsibility. Yeah. And now with the new media, which is great because more people have access to it, that's great. But it seems like the concerns over ethics in some cases, certainly in this Draymond case, it's like it's not even a factor. And it certainly should be, because that's indecent what he did.
How about this, Whitey? And I'm going to take it a step farther. It's not just sports media in general.
Yes.
Politics.
100%.
Just society now.
Yes.
Ethics aren't that as important anymore.
Right.
And even if you do get caught in a lie or saying something you shouldn't say, there aren't many consequences anymore.
Right.
And so it's just the nature of where we live and the time we live in right now.
By the way, you think the Kings get any help tonight? Grizzlies at Dallas. We're not really that worried about Dallas, but we'd rather they lose. Minnesota at Miami. Knicks at Clippers. Kings get any help from the Clippers or the Heat?
I think
Minnesota's
maybe the
playing
Heat,
well.
Maybe Minnesota's playing. Maybe the Heat. That's out there in Miami, right?
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah.
Don't be shocked if the Knicks get a win tonight. Sure, no Brunson, but that means somebody else gets an opportunity. Maybe it's a Cat goes off for 50.
Kings need the Clippers to
lose. If the Clippers lose tonight and Sunday, they're going to be in our rearview mirror, and we're looking ahead to Minnesota and Golden State in the standing.
Yes, and we're looking ahead to tip off tonight, Kings against the Spurs, and former Spur and current Spur broadcaster Sean Elliott's going to join us next to Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Danzig Live. With special guests Down, Abath, and Chromax. Saturday, March 22nd, 6 p.m. The venue at Thunder Valley. On sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss Danzig.
Spring is in the air, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, a huge spring savings for you today.
This sandwich is not just spicy, it's flavorful. Hi, this is Matayo. And this is Elsa. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick. Because the spice comes in at just the right moment. Oh, no. A little thing I love is that cilantro lime sauce. It's a fun blend of zesty and bold. That's what really makes me happy. Are you going to eat all your fries?
Order a Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich and a Diet Dr. Pepper on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat. Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Hello, I'm Frank Hopwood, Retirement Security Centers of the Weekly Economic Update. Tariff talk turned out to not just be talk after all. Well, this could still be a negotiating tactic. The tariffs came into place this week. After pleading from the auto industry, the tariffs for them were put on hold for now for those automobiles that were manufactured following the existing U.S. and Mexico Canada agreement signed in 2020. The concern is real, though. The estimates are an average of $3,000 to be added to the cost of each vehicle. Who pays this cost? The consumer, the manufacturer, or do they share this cost? During the 30-day pause, the expectation is that U.S.-based car companies will work to increase production in the U.S. This could work in areas with factories running at less capacity, but will that be enough to satisfy the mandate for the use of U.S.-based workers? U.S.-based companies say they support investments in domestic workers, but need more assurances and guidance on future tariff policies and emission standards before they can adjust production. Is 30 days enough to turn the production ship around sufficiently? How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Mosaic Wealth, member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned in other entities and or marketing names. Products or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
One ticket, two huge shows. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy hauler, and motorhome. And loads of ATVs too. Two shows, one massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. On now at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at twohugeshows.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
We get ready to welcome De'Aaron Fox back to the Gold One Center tonight. It's the Drive Guys, and our next guest will give us the opponent's view of what's going on. An NBA champion, Spurs TV analyst, Drapes. He was the third pick in the 1989 draft, and as I always tell you when we talk to him, to this day, I wish he had been the first because the Kings had the first pick and it didn't take him. It's Sean Elliott. How are you, Sean?
I'm doing all right. You know, I actually often wonder about that myself. If the Kings would have taken me first and how that would have ended up, but I did end up in the right spot, so no complaints.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sean, welcome to Sack, man. Obviously, no Victor Wembanyama. You guys are dealing with whatever, your organization's dealing with. Greg Popovich, we'll ask you about that coming up in a minute. But you're coming into a cauldron right now, a hornet's nest, if you will. This game is more than just one game here in Sacramento. How do you view it, and do you get that vibe being here in the city so far?
Well, I mean, every time we come to Sacramento, it's a hornet's nest. I mean, you guys have, I mean, literally, obviously I've been a part of the league for a long time, and I've said it before many, many times that you guys have literally some of the best fans in the league. I mean, win or lose, you guys have fans there every night. They're there. They support the team. They get loud. One of the louder arenas in the league. It's always one of the better environments, and you can't say that for a lot of teams. So it's always a tough place to play. All that being said, I know that the fans are looking at De'Aaron Fox coming back home to where he started. For me, I just think that I would love to see a great reception for him because I feel like he did a lot for the community, a lot for the franchise, and I'd like to see that kind of reflected on the way that they treat him coming back. A lot goes into deciding if you're going to stay with an organization or not. I think he wanted to, but he felt that it wasn't going to be probably in his best interest. I can't speak for him, but from everything that I've read and I've seen, that it wasn't going to be in his best interest to stay, and that he was going to try to go to a place where maybe he had a chance to advance farther in the playoffs.
Sean Elliott with us. And Sean, I remember when Webb came back here, and it might actually have been his second time back after the trade to Philly. And I remember Allen Iverson had a great game and was playing pure point guard and set him up. And it was clear that Webb's teammates were mindful of making sure he had a good game. So as far as tonight goes, is this a situation where it's like almost a team building exercise for the Spurs because they want their guy to look good?
I think if you're on a team where guys are really aware and they know the situation, yeah, absolutely. And I think we have a lot of guys on our team. Obviously, Harrison Barnes, Chris Paul, they've been around the league a lot. They know what this game will mean for De'Aaron Fox. I'm not sure our younger guys will appreciate it as much, but I know that our older guys will, and they will. If you have an opportunity to get them going, I'm sure they're going to look for that opportunity. They're going to try to get him going so he can play well here at home. And you always want to come back. I know when I was traded to Detroit, when I came back to San Antonio, I wanted to have a good game. And that's just anybody who's a competitor wants to go out there and play well. And I'm sure De'Aaron feels like he wants to come out there and put on a good performance tonight. And I'm sure that at least his older veterans are going to be, along with the same mindset.
Hey, Sean, no Victor tonight. How has the organization and the team sort of remade itself in the last week or two on the court without Victor? Are they running different sets? Have they changed their philosophy? What are you seeing on the court there?
We really haven't changed our philosophy that much. I look at now we're trying to play some of our younger guys a little bit more, especially Steph Castle. We're trying to give him a lot more minutes, and that's been huge for us because young man's going to be a superstar. He's just an absolute stud. And so we're getting him more minutes out there on the court. Obviously signed Bismack Biyombo because we needed more help on the interior. We had Charles Bassey, who does a great job rebounding and blocking shots, but he went down with a knee injury, and we had traded Zach Collins, so we were really lacking in the middle, and we've been getting out rebounded. We have a lot of teams that are now trying to attack the paint a whole lot more. And so that's been a big problem for us. But, what can you do when that big guy goes down? I mean, there's really no replacing him. It's not just the block shots, it's his presence, everything he brings to the defensive end of the floor. So many times where teams don't want to challenge him in the middle or in the paint, and they end up shooting mid-range jumpers or long jumpers because they don't want to take him on in the paint, and the attention that he receives on the offensive end of the floor where he catches the ball high and he has a lot of attention, a lot of eyes on him. He's able to pick defenses apart with his passing, the way he sees the floor. And there's just no way that you can replicate that. And so it hasn't been a real big philosophy change. We just try to move it and share it and take good shots. The other night we had 37 assists at home against the Brooklyn Nets. So that kind of philosophy has got to stay in place, and the philosophy of playing hard, trying to play physical basketball, and trying to play 48 minutes, that can't change.
That's Sean Elliott with us, of course, now doing Spurs TV work. Last week, your name came up on our show. We had, former Kings coach Jerry Reynolds comes on with us once a week, and we were talking about Keegan Murray, and I mentioned that, I think Keegan, if he comes into his own and approaches his ceiling, that he could end up being kind of like you. And Jerry Reynolds said he kind of liked that comparison. But what do you think of that, Sean Elliott? What do you think Keegan Murray, as he comes into his own here, and he's had some big games lately, do you see a little of yourself in Keegan Murray? And maybe you don't. I don't mean it to be a leading question. I'm just curious what you think of that comparison.
Well, the similarities that I do see is that, throughout my career, I was asked to play both ends of the floor. It was a real emphasis by every coach that I had, and lots of times I was guarding the toughest wing player. So defense was an emphasis for me, and of course, knocking down shots. I was more of a slasher early on in my career than Keegan is. I took the ball to the basket a lot. I didn't start shooting threes until my fifth or sixth year or so in my career, where I started shooting a lot more three balls. And so he's definitely a better shooter than I was early. I don't think there's any question about that. And he's a good defender. Actually, he's a better defender than I actually realized. When you really look at what he does out there on the floor defensively, I think he does a phenomenal job. And so I will take that comparison any day.
Okay, nice.
All right. Sean Elliott joining us. Sean, I don't know if I ever told you, man, but, obviously I used to watch all your games back when you were at Arizona, and I'll keep it real because that's what I do wasn't a big fan of yours back then.
Whoa.
Like, I was a UCLA guy. I was a UCLA fan back in the day. But he would always bust UCLA's butt. Yeah. So, but a great player, man. You get it. I'm sure you get that from time to time out there. I'm looking at your era, and I'm looking at my guy Doug Christie here on the sidelines here for Sacramento. Obviously, a great career in Sacramento. Now a coach. What do you make of the job he's doing here?
I think he's doing a phenomenal job. Absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't be happier for Doug because he's a world-class person as well. And so whenever young guys get a chance, I'm always rooting for them. And listen, Mike Brown is a good friend of our organization. I love the years that Mike Brown was there. Loved being around him. Didn't feel like his firing was justified. Without question, I thought he did a tremendous job. But I will say that I am pulling for Doug Christie to be successful, and he certainly fulfilled his promise. And just happy that the Kings gave him a chance to take over and take over the reins. And I think he's grabbed the opportunity by the lapels, and he's just really vaulted that team up, because you guys have had a lot of changes as well. And it's not easy to make changes on the fly mid-season and get everybody integrated in and playing well and getting everybody on the same page. And you're 7-3 in your last 10 or so. That's pretty good. I mean, that's not pretty good. It's exceptional when you make mid-season changes. So Doug Christie is just doing a fabulous job.
We appreciate your time, Sean, and buckle your seatbelts. It could be a bumpy night tonight, but thank you again, and we'll see you out here in a little bit. Thanks for joining us, Sean. We hope to talk to you again soon.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
All right. Yes. When we come back, got the Drapes. I got a practical reason to not boo De'Aaron Fox. I mean, boo him if you're gonna, he's going to get booed, but there's a practical reason why you want to think twice about it.
All right.
It's next year from the Goal One Center with the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Every Saturday in March is your chance to shoot your shot at Sky River Casino's $250,000 Slam Dunk Cash Giveaway. Play slots and table games to earn entries and get 100 bonus entries every Monday and Tuesday. Visit Sky River Casino daily to score a free entry. Then join every Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. for a chance to win up to $250,000. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older.
Spring is in the air, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping for new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
We rely heavily on our HVAC systems during the cold valley winters and hot valley summers. That's why there are so many HVAC companies out there. So when you need a new system or a tune-up, where do you turn? I turned to Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Once our heater checked out, we checked in at leesair.com. The entire experience exceeded our high expectations. You want prompt service from people who know what they're doing, can save you money, and will treat you right? For your HVAC needs, Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, on the web at leesair.com. Ask about their $99 HVAC tune-up service, license number 635355.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
I believe we just saw the De'Aaron Fox tribute video. Won't tell you anything about it. Wouldn't want to spoil any surprises.
Y'all should have posted it.
Not that they're. I didn't notice it. It was in the middle of our conversation with Sean, and I was talking to him and then looked up and happened to notice it and drew Drape's attention to it. It's pretty much over by then. So there is going to be one, I guess, is all I'd say. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
and rightfully so.
Of course.
And I already envision in my mind, Whitey, how it's going to go. They'll play the video, and I do believe there will be a standing ovation.
Nice,
De'Aaron Fox. I do believe so. That's in my heart of hearts. I think in that moment, Kings fans will appreciate what De'Aaron has done for the organization.
I think those have been done in different ways, but where do you play something like that?
First time out, usually.
Okay.
Yeah. During one of the early timeouts, I think didn't they do that with Harrison Barnes as well? And I think it was first time out. And so it'll be emotional out here tonight.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it your boy Paul Pierce that? Let's see, Isaiah Thomas was coming back. His first game back in Boston was Paul Pierce night.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, I don't want him playing an Isaiah Thomas video on my night. It's like, oh, man.
Pierce did say that. He totally said that. It's like, do it in any other night, but not on my night. Yeah. He was a little petty about that.
Years ago in the old barn, during those playoff series between the Kings and the Lakers, inevitably, if the game was played down there, the Kings bigs would be in foul trouble. If the game was played here, Shaq would be in foul trouble. So what would happen is you'd be towards the end of the game, and Shaq would be in foul trouble, maybe foul out. He'd have to sit down or he'd foul out, and fans would start chanting, Kobe sucks. Kobe sucks. And I remember I'd be like, be quiet. You don't want to do that. He thrives on that. So I know people are going to boo tonight, some people. I'm not saying De'Aaron Fox is Kobe, far from it, but I do think he might be the type. We've seen him. He plays better when he has something to get excited about. He may thrive on that tonight, Drapes.
Yeah, I hear you, and I thought about that. I thought the same thing. But don't you think he's already frothing at the mouth for tonight? Or
sure.
Just one of 82 for I think he's already on edge, wanting to show the organization something.
Yes,
wanting to have a monster.
But that's going to be just a little more sauce.
You know what, though, Whitey? I'll say this, and I hear you. You don't want to piss him off. But let's not act like De'Aaron Fox is LeBron or KD or somebody, Luka or something like that. We got the guys that can,
of course,
make life a little difficult.
Don't misunderstand
me. Right. I'm not, no offense to De'Aaron Fox. I'm not that scared because we've seen him even here in Sacramento. It's like it takes a lot to get him fired up, and how come we didn't see that more? Even when he does play, there have been games he's dropped 43 and we lost. And so
seems to me you did a game where he scored a lot of points. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think
who was that? We were witnessing
history.
Yeah, but I was against Utah. I could have scored 25 against Utah. But here, let me ask you this though. If De'Aaron Fox is doing his thing, gets pissed off, starts going one-on-one, does that play into our hands? Because they got some other weapons.
Yeah.
They got, the De'Aaron Fox I'm afraid of tonight is 28 points and 10, 11 assists, 4 or 5 steals, and then Devin Vassell also has 27 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as concerned about Fox going off for 40 tonight. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm kind of worried about him going off and the other guys.
Yeah.
Going.
Especially, like you say, Devin Vassell.
Yeah.
I think he just hears Golden One Center and he starts salivating.
Yeah.
Let me in there. Let me in there.
Yeah.
The thing about De'Aaron to me has always been one thing. When he's knocking down threes, he takes it to another level. When he's not able to, he's a good player. Yeah. But you can handle him. He has not shot the 3-ball well since he's been with San Antonio. Yeah. Who do you have guarding him tonight? Probably Keegan combination.
That's a good
Marquel Foltz a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, little Marquel. That's a great question because with no Malik, you'll have Keon and Keegan in the starting lineup tonight. Mm-hmm. I think it'll actually be. Here's what I know.
Jerry said Keon. He thinks Keon.
That's what I think also.
Yeah.
Even though De'Aaron at times struggles with some length. And so I do think Keegan, but I think having Keon in your starting lineup, I would say Keon Ellis.
Yeah. They'll probably both get
get some minutes there.
Their chances at him. And then Foltz would be interesting, but he didn't play well in last game, Drapes. I'm not piling on him, but he just looked a little out of sorts. Like he didn't get much done.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with him the other night. I hear he had a couple turnovers.
Yeah.
Just looked to be sort of slower out there. Like, just,
yeah.
Not dialed in.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, I understand it. I was a little disappointed about that. But I will say this, and I think this is a challenge for Marquel, and not only him, for, any player. When you come off the bench, you ain't got time to ease your way into the game. You know what I mean? You don't get enough minutes, 8 minutes on your first stretch in the game to ease in. You're getting 3 or 4 minutes, and you got to make it happen. And so I think, for Marquel, that's something he's going to have to adjust to as he gets back into the NBA, gets his legs back, fits in with this situation, this team. And also Whitey, too, this is all new for him. Like, we saw Zach LaVine struggle the first week or two, trying to figure out where's his spots, how he fits in.
Mm-hmm.
I think Marquel, to an extent, is still trying to figure that out because he hasn't had a whole lot of game time with the team.
Yeah, Amadrox says, Whitey and Drapes, Marquel was affected by the elevation. How did you handle the elevation?
It was brutal. Now, I mean, when I did the game, it was fine.
Right.
But, like, when I went up the steps to go to the broadcast location.
Yeah, you can't explain it to people who've never.
Right. It's like, damn, why am I winded? And Doug told a good story pregame about it. He said what usually happens as a player is during your first stint, you lose your wind really quickly. And then afterwards, but in Markel's case, he didn't get much opportunity, to come back in. And so he looked zapped of energy out there. And we'll see him again tonight, guarding De'Aaron Fox. Making some plays, and hopefully he does better out there.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I got a nickname for you. You're doing a game Sunday?
Sunday.
Yeah. If you want.
Clippers.
You may not want. If you want to, all yours. Jake Laravia was so hot there in that first half against Denver. Some people were calling him Saudi Laravia, and I don't know if you want to use if that's something for you to use. If
I got to sleep on that one. I'm not going to co-sign it right now.
I wouldn't. If I were you, I wouldn't.
Saudi Laravia. Nah, I don't think I can pull that one off. I'm sorry. It sounds good. It sounds snappy. Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, I would advise
Saudi
against
Laravia.
it, actually.
Nah, I can't do that one.
But he did have a heck of a first half.
He did, my boy. And the thing about it, the 15 points first half, phenomenal. He battled defensively.
Yeah.
Like, he played Jokic better than almost anybody I've ever seen. Like, you got to get low with him. You got to get physical. And I think that's Jake's role on this team, man. Obviously provide some scoring, which he did. But he's a tough, hard-nosed player, man. He gives it all. Who he sort of reminds me of, in a different body, in a different, position. But he's almost like a TJ McConnell type.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Somebody that's, may not, be all-star level, may not be at the top of the scouting report, but guys like that you need on your team.
Yeah.
Just a competitor out there on the court.
He said the most fascinating thing, and I believe you were in the room when he said it after the game, when he was talking about post-game, and we got away from some things that had been working in the fourth quarter. We ran some plays, but we didn't run them well. And then he says, and I'll take the blame for that because I didn't know the plays. I don't know where to stand.
Right,
and it's understandable. But I was thinking, man, if he doesn't, then, Levine probably knows some of them. Valanciunas doesn't know all the plays. So as that offense started to bog down, and Doug addressed this too, you're the coach, like, well, let's call some stuff. And you're really limited as to what you can call with a bunch of guys who haven't been here long enough to know the plays.
Yeah. And that was a moment of honesty. You never hear players say that.
Right.
I didn't know what we were doing out there.
I think maybe he realized he kind of almost threw his teammates under the bus, like we didn't run things well. And then he realized, oh, well, that was because of me.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Is that what he did?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. You rarely, if ever, hear that. And it goes to show you it's new. And also, too, Whitey, a lot of times during basketball games, you have your standard offense. But then when you get down to the nitty gritty, winning time, late in games, you draw up something or you bring something back. All right, guys, now let's go to this. And Jake's like, I don't remember that. I don't remember working on that. It might have been a play they worked on 2 weeks ago, one time, and the coach is trying to draw, when you have that institutional knowledge, you've been together, then you can draw back on that. And it goes to show you this team is still relatively young together. What, 10 games, 11 games, 12 games, something like that as a unit?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and Jonas has been so impressive, but as the high flyer pointed out, and we talked about this yesterday, where you really feel Domas's injury is, Jonas is playing really well and putting up similar numbers, but before he was coming off the bench against like some second unit guys.
Mm-hmm.
And now when he's off the floor, you have Trey Lyles is a good player, but you don't have that same mismatch as you would when you had Jonas Valanciunas against teams' backup centers.
Right. And think about it, earlier this season, the center position wasn't necessarily a full strength of ours. We had Domas, but then it dropped off. When we added Valanciunas, you could argue that's the position we're most strongest at, with those two guys.
Who has a better depth at the center position in the league right now?
In the league, that's a good question.
I mean, they're up there.
They got to be up there. Maybe Cleveland or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you're right about that. Like you have a starting center and Valanciunas coming off your bench. To your point, though, now he's pressed into starting duty, and because you were using Keegan Murray and Laravia to guard Jokic, his minutes weren't as high, as a normal starter because of the defensive matchups that night.
Mm-hmm.
So
when we come back, De'Aaron Fox is gone. He comes back tonight. Some of his concerns, based on what we've read today, some of those concerns may linger, and we'll look at those concerns when we come back to the Golden One on Sacktown Sports.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
When it comes to great deals on tax prep, Jackson Hewitt isn't holding back, and neither is this commercial. Their offer is so big, it has to be said with Reverb. Expert tax prep for $149 or less. It's a deal so spectacular, it needs a symphony, some explosions, and a clock ticking, because this offer, $149 or less. Ends soon. One expert tax prep for $149 or less. Try Jackson Hewitt today and save. Whew. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopiers.com.
Hey, Kings fans, join us for a watch party and live game night broadcast with the high flyer Henry Turner and me at Tom's Watch Bar today from 5:30 to 6:30 against San Antonio. Enjoy 360-degree viewing, surround sound, prizes, and more. Tom's Watch Bar.
One ticket, two huge shows. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy hauler, and motorhome. And loads of ATVs too. Two shows, one massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. On now at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at twohugeshows.com.
When you're overwhelmed with tax debt, deciding what to do next is a true win or lose decision. You can lose your car, your paycheck, even your retirement savings, or you can choose someone to help you win this battle with the IRS. Now is the time to tackle your tax debt, but you don't have to do it alone. Meet Priority Tax Relief, veteran-owned and the expert in tax debt resolution. Our priority is fighting for you. Our team has helped clients save millions and can reduce or even erase your tax debt. Call 800-406-1584 right now to talk to our winning team. Priority Tax Relief has a direct line to the IRS. That's right, a fast track to find out if you qualify for life-changing tax relief in just minutes. Priority Tax Relief fights to protect your money, has 5-star reviews on Google, and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Why wait? Call Priority Tax Relief for your free tax consultation. Call 800-406-1584. That's 800-406-1584. Let's make your taxes our priority. Stop your tax debt now. Call 800-406-1584.
Next game, we go on, the opponent changes. The object is to win it. We will have a game plan. We will execute it and throw the ball up and get at it. I mean, it's really no more than that. I mean, I know for the city, opposition, a lot of different things, but I'm not really getting into that. I don't care who it is. We come
The
in.
Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Yeah, we're having some fun talking about all the various things swirling around this game tonight, but for the Kings, hopefully, if anything, they can use some of that to help them focus. But the thing is, they must win this game. Whether it involves, you just gotta win the game, as Doug says. Yeah, we just care who it is, gotta win the game tonight, Grapes.
You do, because here's the thing, Whitey. Nice 3-1 road trip, tough loss at Denver. You lose tonight, it kind of erases that road trip to an extent, the feel good vibes, if you will.
Right.
You come back and you win tonight. All right, you won 4 out of your last 5, 5 out of your last 6. You're feeling much better. And so, yeah, it's a must win for so many different reasons tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you got some other teams that you're chasing. Minnesota comes to mind. They're playing well, and you don't want to let them get any more out ahead of you. Maybe maybe Miami knocks them off tonight and you get a win, but you have to start. Especially games where you're home against a lesser opponent, you've got to win them right now.
You got to win them, and Minnesota, has one of the easiest schedules in the league. As a matter of fact, they do have Denver twice, Milwaukee, also Memphis, but they have the 27th most difficult schedule, easiest schedule, basically. In the league. And so they still got 2 against the Pelicans, 2 against Brooklyn, 2 against the Jazz. So, tonight you got to get this one, against an injured, banged up, no Victor Wembanyama. And here's the thing too, Whitey. One thing we've seen from this Kings team recently is they've been locked in. They've been dialed in. Now you got extra motivation to be locked in and dialed in. And so you got to get this one. I'd be shocked if they came out flat tonight.
Let me ask you this. I'm asking you to speculate, although you may have insight. Jay may have insight, but I'm just asking you to speculate. Obviously, Doug Christie publicly, the few times he's addressed this, he said, yeah, we have to win. We're focused on winning. Do you think that when it comes to meeting with the players, does the De'Aaron Fox factor in any way, shape, or form come into play? Is there any way he might use that to help get his team ready for the game, in your opinion?
I don't think so. I don't think it's we got to kick De'Aaron's butt, or I think it's, hey, I know it might be an emotional game. I know he's our friend and everything, and he's close to a lot of our guys, but we're here to win a basketball game. Like, you may address it in that way.
Right. It's about being professional.
Right, being a professional, not necessarily, we got to kick De'Aaron's butt. It's more about being a professional tonight.
Yeah. We haven't touched on one of the big questions. Maybe we haven't heard much about this because maybe now it's not a possibility, but is there any chance that we do see the return of your guy, Royale, tonight?
I would if I'm the organization.
You would?
Yes, I'm making sure anything that De'Aaron hated while he was here, I'm bringing it back, and I'm saying, I'm throwing Dude, I'm bringing Royale out on the floor, on the court during the first time out. Thank you, Selena. During the first time out. And so, yes, 100%. It's part of gamesmanship, if you will.
See, I would have him just creep out like when De'Aaron's shooting free throws. Or
right.
Just creep out from beyond the basket.
Dude, that would get in his head for sure, right? Like, he would 100% have to see that, and it would affect him in some sort of way. You got to do it tonight.
And that's your guy, right?
Royale?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's my guy. Got the sweatshirt at home still. I need to, talk to some in the organization so they can give me a heads up when Royale is going to, be a part of the in-game entertainment, so I can wear the sweatshirt.
Right.
Like,
right.
If I would have known, I would have brought it today.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Okay. All right. So something to keep an eye on. We know that there were a number of stories today. One in The Athletic by Anthony Slater and Sam, and Slate's going to join us today. And Sam was on, I think, with the morning show today. And one at ESPN.com about what's going on with the Kings now and how this all fell apart. I'm just going to read this. Drapes, you have any comments? I know this could put you in, an awkward situation. Don't mean to, but
I may
this is
plead the fifth if I have to.
Yeah,
I may plead the fifth.
Okay. This is what was in the Athletic piece. League sources said Sabonis, who has 3 more seasons and a combined $140.3 million left on his current deal, is expected to seek clarity about the organization's plan in the offseason, just as Fox wanted to know whose voice mattered most on key decisions and who the team's owner might be trusting the most as counsel. Sabonis is known to have similar questions. One league source close to a core Kings player, agent, right, said, "What is the vision here? It feels like it could be headed toward chaos," end quote. That's a lot of could be, might be, a lot of questions that I think they're going to have to deal with once the season is over.
And I'll say this, and I don't have any inside info on this, but it doesn't surprise me, considering what this organization, this franchise has been through this season.
Yeah.
Firing Mike Brown, trading De'Aaron Fox. If you're a star player, I'm like, what the hell's the plan?
Right.
Where are we going? What's our direction?
Right.
So, yeah, it's not surprising if that's the case. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me, because when you're a superstar player, when you're a star player, and De'Aaron sort of talked about it, it's his career. Your legacy is kind of on the line here. You know what I mean? We're talking about Hall of Fame. We're talking about future All-Stars. We're talking about jerseys being retired, all top 75. And so as a superstar, as a star player, you should always want clarity, especially when an organization has had so much change here over this last 3 months.
Yeah, and the ESPN piece, I believe it was the ESPN piece, quoted De'Aaron as saying that over the summer, he said there were players on the team that wanted Mike gone. I'm not going to say who they were. We'd heard something about that. You could guess. We don't know for sure who it is. We think we might know. But my question is this: does that maybe suggest why they struggled as much as it did last year? Was there maybe some, dysfunction there with players unhappy with the coach? And I'm not blaming anybody for that, but just, last year was something's not right. Couldn't put our finger on it. Was maybe that one of the things that kept them from playing as well as they could have last year?
Yeah, perhaps, because we even saw it last year. Maybe Mike didn't come out in post-game press conferences and say it, but, at times the players didn't respond to the message he was saying.
Yeah.
And so they still won 46 games, still had a hell of a season, but the vibes felt different.
Yeah.
The energy felt different. It is what it is. And so maybe that did play a part, especially when you think about it like this, Whitey. If what De'Aaron is saying is true and 100% accurate, players in the offseason, a couple of players didn't want him. So they must have been feeling that during the season, right?
Right.
They had to have those
assuming.
thoughts. Yeah. And so I'm sure it played a factor. And the fact that they still won 46 games. What's upsetting to me, Whitey, is, and what I guess, I want to know, and I don't have any inside info on this, what changed? What was it that because that first year it seemed like the vibes were all good.
I know, and that seems like a lifetime ago,
right? Doesn't
a couple
it?
seasons ago.
Like did the honeymoon, sort of wear off and reality hit? From my vantage point, I will say, I do think Mike practiced the guys too much. I've gone on record of saying that. I do think they practice too much, and especially with these players today's day and age. And I feel like Doug has taken sort of the opposite approach, lighter shoot around, shorter practices. And so it's, and we got to understand Mike's background, and I'll also say this. When you come from Golden State, Steve Kerr, known as a player's coach, he listens to his veterans. He has a great relationship with Steph and Draymond and all those guys. To succeed in the NBA as a head coach, you got to have your superstar players on your side. They got to buy in to what you do. And I feel like with any coach, when it goes sideways, most of this time is because you lost your best players. If your best players are on board, 10th man, 11th man, 12th, it sets the tone.
Yeah.
Exactly. If they start tuning you out, that's when you got a problem.
Yeah, I think you touched on the big question here. And right now it's kind of back burner stuff because of what's right in front of them. And they are playing well now, and they've got a lot to gain here, and they need to focus on that. But how did we get from just 2 seasons ago the most incredible atmosphere any of us have ever seen in Sacramento for a basketball game, and now here we are where the coach is gone and the star player is gone? Now it looks like maybe those moves are working. We don't know about the trade. It might work. They have a chance to thread the needle on that. The coach looks like it has worked. So it's not a matter of, hey, who screwed up here? But it is an interesting question. Wow, how did so much change so quickly?
Yes. And winning cures a lot.
Yeah.
And I go back to Mike's first season when they had that 7-game win streak. The good vibes are flowing. When you're winning and the coach is preaching something and it works, you have no choice but to buy in. But as soon as you hit that adversity, maybe you go on a 3-game losing streak, maybe you go on a 4-game losing streak. I go back to something, I think it was earlier this season, that really stood out to me. It was Domantas Sabonis as shoot around, and Malik Monk was just being inserted into the starting lineup. And I keep thinking about this. And the reporter asked him about Malik in the starting, and he said, it's about time.
Mm-hmm.
And that, now that we look back in hindsight, man, maybe that's part of what's going on here. And that was telling to me.
Yeah.
And so it is what it is. The thing that I guess, saddens me the most is that Beam team year, 48 wins, was so magical.
Yeah, that's a word I would use.
And to your point, it seems like so long ago right now. It's going to just be a blip in the Kings' radar. You know what I mean? At least with the C-Web and Vlade and Weber, Bibby teams, we got like 5 years, good years, 6 years. But this was just like a flash in the pan almost.
Right. Right. Yeah. So that's part of the task at hand is trying to extend that. And then the other thing is they're on track to have their 3rd winning season in a row.
Right.
And for the Kings, that's remarkable. And yet it's still kind of, I don't know. Should we tear it down?
Well, and Monty has pointed out, and this, last couple of seasons, they had more wins than anybody in the Western Conference except Denver. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, in the whole scheme of life, when we had Sean Cunningham on, even though it feels bad, it's actually pretty damn good for where we've been as an organization.
Yeah, when we come back to the Golden One Center, Charles Barkley goes after ESPN again. Everybody's going after everybody else. More on that next on Sacktown Sports.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can stand, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can stand, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hello, I'm Frank Hopper with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Tariff talk turned out to not just be talk after all. Well, this could still be a negotiating tactic. The tariffs came into place this week. After pleading from the auto industry, the tariffs for them were put on hold for now for those automobiles that were manufactured following the existing U.S. and Mexico and Canada agreement signed in 2020. The concern is real, though. The estimates are an average of $3,000 to be added to the cost of each vehicle. Who pays this cost? The consumer, the manufacturer, or do they share this cost? During the 30-day pause, the expectation is that U.S.-based car companies will work to increase production in the U.S. This could work in areas with factories running at less capacity, but will that be enough to satisfy the mandate for the use of U.S.-based workers? U.S.-based companies say they support investments in domestic workers, but need more assurances and guidance on future tariff policies and emission standards before they can adjust production. Is 30 days enough to turn the production ship around sufficiently? How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Mosaic Wealth, member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned in other entities and/or marketing names. Products or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
Hey, Aggie fans, Coach Les here. ESPN is coming to UC Davis this Saturday night to nationally broadcast our home finale versus UC San Diego. Let's pack the University Credit Union Center. It's an 8 p.m. tip. Come see T.Y. Johnson and all of our seniors one last time before we head to Vegas for the Big West Tournament.
Come root on the UC Davis men's basketball team this Saturday night and show the nation what Aggie Hoops is all about. Get your tickets now at ucdavisaggies.com. Go at.
I get to catch up with him tonight.
Oh, okay. I was assuming, I haven't read all the details, that he was staying, but we don't even know if he's staying for the rest of this year.
I don't know.
Okay.
Because you got recruiting, you got get out there on the road. You got the portal and everything. Like, you got to get busy if you're Luke Loud. So we'll see. We'll find out here. Doug will address it tonight during his pregame press conference too, I'm sure.
There's a very good chance there'd be some turnover on the coaching staff, right? Because you have a new head coach. So
right. And I think, and I think that's part of it too. If Mike Brown was still here, I don't know how much Luke would entertain the job. This is just me speculating. But, the writing's on the wall. Whether it's Doug or somebody else, you got to imagine there's going to be some coaching changes.
As far as the reaction for De'Aaron Fox tonight, just judging off what I'm seeing on X, it seems like the pendulum is swinging back towards don't boo him. And I'm just trying to get an idea where we are.
Big fella.
No, there's a lot of that sentiment.
X is not reality, though. You know why? You know why? I'm amending my thought. I think there would be way more cheers than boos, because here's why. When we fired Mike Brown, everybody was up in arms on social media. Trash organization doing this. But then that Monday they returned home, 17,000 plus people cheering. And so I don't think social media is a true representation of the majority of Kings fans.
That may be. I'm just trying to gauge here, and that's I've noticed that on there. I'm not saying that's a be-all, end-all. We know that during that Charlotte game when they showed, coming up is De'Aaron Fox going to be here on March 7th, and the booing was really surprising. So just trying to gauge it. I know there's a piece in the B today, and again, this is separate from me telling you what I think or what I would do. I've already said all that, but I'm just trying to gauge it, and it just looks to me like maybe it's starting to swing back. Could be totally wrong. Swing back more towards, oh no, don't boo him. So I'm just trying to guess what to expect tonight.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. And do you think the stories that came out today help or hurt De'Aaron's rep with the fan base?
It's hard to say because it just depends whether people are believing it. I think it helped him a little bit, but I still think, it depends what your predisposition is. If you already were angry at him, there's enough in there for you to look at it and go, yeah, I knew it. Boo. Okay. You know what I mean?
All right. Yep. And but I wonder, because reading those stories, the organization comes out looking worse.
Yes.
And so it's a little more sympathetic, I think. To
I agree.
Darren,
I
both
agree.
of these articles that came.
And my opinion, I don't work for the organization, and I know that you do, but I wonder why the organization, I mentioned this earlier, all the narrative here is being driven from De'Aaron's side of it and agents and players. And I just think the organization at some point, maybe they feel now's not the time. At some point, they have to address these things and just at least, that doesn't mean they have to come out and take shots at De'Aaron, but just explain, look, this is where we are and this is where we are headed. And I think that's one of the things we're reading. Some of the players are wondering about. It has to happen this summer. The fans deserve it, and it would behoove the organization to just express that.
What do you want them to say, though?
This is our direction. This is where
we see the direction. Zach, DeMar, Sabonis. Like, what do you want them? You want them to pull out a spreadsheet and say, here's our 5-year plan? No organization does that. No organization does that.
This organization, it's unclear. I mean, you have players wondering, what is the direction? And I think it's a fair question.
But that's for the players. They don't need the front office doesn't need to come to the fans and hold a press conference. Here's what we envision for the next 2 to 3 years. We're going to use this draft pick. We're going to trade these. Like, that's not how it works, Whitey. Now, for the players, they have the right to actually hear because it's their future. Like, do I want to resign here? Do I want to go? But from a fan standpoint, I disagree. I don't think, you need to answer some questions, but do you have to come out and here's our vision? Their vision is to win basketball games. Their vision is to compete for championships. And so that's what I think these moves have been made for. They didn't tear it down. We see the vision. They believe in Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis, and DeMar DeRozan. And if they don't, they'll make the moves this offseason, or they'll make it at the trade deadline. We'll see their vision when they do it.
The organization, and I'm not saying the front office needs to explain. This is how we look at everything. But the organization, because you're selling a product, and because right now there is some confusion over exactly what's going on, because there's been so much upheaval, I think it would behoove the organization to clarify things to their customers. So you're right. As far as a player and an agent saying, what's the direction? Maybe that's different. I think there's some crossover there, but I think the organization needs to, for their own benefit, tell fans, look, we went through a lot here, just so you know, and now's not the time. Maybe you wait till the season's over, but at some point, I think they have to clarify. Maybe it's like, Doug's the coach now. We're going forward with Doug. And they there's no reason for them to make that announcement now. But when they do, this is Doug. This is our plan with Doug. He's our coach. This is the direction which we're heading. I think it's a good idea.
If they remove the interim tag from Doug this offseason, isn't that statement, this is our coach, this is the guy we're going, forward
That's
with?
a big part of it. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so it doesn't have to be an explicit, State of the Union address or anything like that. And I hear in an ideal world, but that's just not how things work. Like I look at, a team I'm very familiar with, Oklahoma City. Sam Presti ain't out there doing press conferences every other week, not on the radio explaining everything. You see the vision by the moves they make. You know, I'd say when you trade De'Aaron Fox and you don't get back 4 or 5 first-round picks, that signals to me the vision is we're still trying to win right now. I don't need them to explicitly. I think what you would like for them to say, and tell me if I'm wrong here, is to acknowledge the fans' frustrations, to acknowledge the fans, how difficult a situation is.
Right.
But that's not talking about where the direction of the team. It's acknowledging, hey, it's been a tough year, but we're committed to winning. You don't have to
go hand in hand, though.
But I'm looking at the moves, bringing Zach LaVine in. I'm looking at the moves, trading for Jonas Valanciunas. To me, that's showing me their vision, that they're trying to win right now. They're trying to build a contender right now and not bottom out, not trade and get multiple draft picks. I think the moves they make show me their vision, I guess is what I'm saying.
I agree with that to an extent, but you've got a number of veterans here. Are they going to be here? Is DeMar going to be here? Are they committed to DeMar? Things like that in the offseason.
But why? I'm sorry to cut you off. But if they aren't being committed to DeMar, they'll make the move. They'll trade him, and then we'll see. They're not going to say, because here's the thing. You say one thing, and then something comes up. Yeah, we're committed to DeMar. Then the Celtics offer Jaylen Brown. But I thought you were committed to DeMar. So you're not backing yourself into any corner. You will see their vision. You will see whether they're committed to DeMar, whether they're committed to Domas by the moves they make, is what I'm saying.
I think some of the moves they've made leave them open to some questions from fans. And I think some clarification would benefit everybody. And yes, to your point, and I made that point earlier myself, I do think they need to acknowledge fan frustration. But right now, if you continue to win games and you make a run in the playoffs, that answers a lot of those questions. So right now is not the time for it. But I just feel like we're hearing everything from one side. What's the Kings' side? I feel like they'd help themselves in this situation if they just were a little more forthcoming about, well, this is what's going on and this is why we did it. But we'll find out more once we see where this team ends up. We'll come back with, as we said, Charles Barkley going after ESPN last night and how the Kings slow Fox to a trot. Next with the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Meanwhile at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do! Yeah! Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary. Not guaranteed.
Danzig live. With special guests Down, Aboth, and Chromags. Saturday, March 22nd, 6 p.m. The venue at Thunder Valley. On sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss Danzig.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV
RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning?
RV wins!
Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping?
RV wins!
Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast?
RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states and situations.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
One ticket, two huge shows. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy hauler, and motorhome. And loads of ATVs too. Two shows. One massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. On now at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at twohugeshows.com.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton & Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Yeah, we got an NFL note for you. Geno Smith traded to the Raiders. Wow. Pete Carroll. Geno Smith reunited?
Third round pick.
Wow, they got a third rounder?
Third rounder, according to Adam Schefter.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that? Geno Smith, according to Schefter, is heading to Seattle. As I pull this up here, I just want to make sure I'm accurate. Is being traded to Las Vegas for a third round pick per sources.
So the Raiders got their bridge quarterback, their stopgap quarterback. And, you know, maybe he's going to be good enough to put them on the fringe of contention as soon as possibly.
Man, don't talk
Tom
yourself into
Brady
that,
had
Wayne. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Tom Brady had to have a hand in that decision too, right?
Yeah, you would imagine so, right? Yeah. And you know, I think this sort of shakes up the NFC West too. Now I'm looking at Seattle and I'm like, they have no quarterback, right? I'm looking at the draft order. They're 18th. They got the 18th overall pick. Like, who are you going to get there? You're not going to get it, you know, a rookie you're going to start. No. Sam Howell was Geno Smith's backup. So this is actually great news for the Niners. I would imagine, you know, a competitor in your conference just got worse at the best position, the most important position in football.
How about that, Jay? 49ers back.
You know what we do? By default.
2-0 against. Yep.
We'll take it by default.
Mark it down.
Yeah. Jay, what do you think of the talk? I think Jason Lock-and-Fora kind of suggested that the 49ers were lowballing Brock Purdy. What do you make of it? He didn't actually report it, but he kind of implied that they opened the negotiations at $45 million.
Yeah, well, you know, the 49ers, they take care of people when they want to, and they're playing a little hardball. We know they're looking for cash, more or less, because the York family invested in a Scottish soccer team, so they're looking for some cash right now. So they're going to blowball it. But the other part about it is, fellas, I think they've pinpointed that Brock is going to be their guy. They want him to be the quarterback, but they just have a little more leverage. And, you know, as much as Brock has proven and shown that he should get paid, I'm not sure if anyone is sure, even Brock Purdy, if he's sure if he's worth $60 million at the point. So, look, go ahead and take that $50 million a year for 3 years or so. Maybe I've heard that, but it sounds like you start a little low, you negotiate, meet in the middle. And if not, then come play on this $5.1 million deal. How about that? We'll talk to you next year when we can give you $41 million, which we're offering you $45 now. So, and then we can franchise tag you again for the second year. You would make $44. So we're giving you more than what you even gonna make anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were testing the theory that Brock, played for so little that he's just, golly, it's a lot of money and I love football, so let's go.
I'll sign for whatever.
How about 45? Okay, golly, thanks.
Yeah, that obviously ain't happening, right? And so, no, this is interesting because was it Lock-In for it? I said they're trying to. Niners are going to play hardball or something like that. Somebody reported.
A number of reporters have kind of suggested that. Yeah.
And I'm like, man. Here's the thing, too. Brock has been the model citizen, playing on a below market deal, hasn't made any waves, being the franchise, basically saved Kyle Shanahan's butt. Let's call it what it is. Saved Kyle Shanahan's butt. This isn't the guy to be digging in with, right? And so, I do some side work representing TV talent, and I got one client in
Wait a minute. Why you ain't representing me then?
Nah, that's conflict of interest, big fella. Conflict. I can't work with you. But we're going through a negotiation now, and I told the boss at this TV station, I said, we should reward good people that show up. This girl never makes any waves, does everything she's asked, whatever you need, I'll do it. And so now when contract time comes up, reward her. The contract time comes up, reward Brock Purdy. Give him the bit. He's been a model citizen. Don't try and lowball him because you because you think he's, Josh Gilly, Golly Wally, I'll take whatever.
Right.
No.
But what do you give him, Drapes?
Jay.
Drapes, he ain't, but he's not a $60 million guy, and I'm not counting his pockets.
Well, let's put it this way. What if you're representing Brock?
Well, I'll tell you this. In my negotiations with this company, they came with a lowball offer.
Sure.
And I said, that ain't going to get it done. And so we're still negotiating. So to Brock's camp, that ain't going to get it done. And so I countered offered. If I'm Brock, my counter is $55 million. And then so hopefully you meet somewhere around that $50 million mark.
See, I'd go, if they're going to go 45, I'd go like at least 60. And I know that's too high.
They
45 is too low.
They're going to slam the door on you.
No, of course they're not going to give me 60, but I'm not going to give them 45.
Dude, come on, man. That might be an insult to John Lynch and those guys. They're like 60.
You ain't Josh Allen, man.
I'm insulted by 45.
Play this final year out and then see what you can get or something like that. 60?
Yes, that's what I'm asking. I don't expect to get that. I'm trying to get 55.
If I'm Brock, I'm happy with 50. You know what I mean? Like you come in
Brock
too
Purdy
high.
If you're Brock Purdy's agent, he's screwed because you think he's terrible. So he needs to get somebody else to represent him.
If they offered 50, sign me up if I'm Brock Purdy. 60, now you're just trying to be greedy, Brock. And that's where things turn contentious. You know what I mean? Now you got an Ayuk situation going on.
Things got contentious when you came at me with 45. That's where it got contentious.
Brock Purdy. Nah, it's but let me ask you guys this. Do you feel like the Niners, because this is the narrative that's being put out there, is sort of having a shift in like a reset button on contracts, if you will? Sort of like, you know what, we're going to pause handing out all this money. Let's sort of reset the situation here, the bar. Instead of going all in, like they did in previous signings.
Well, it's like Jay was just saying, the reporting is that they're fine as far as cap room, but they've been given a lot of like cash bonuses.
Yeah.
And it's like they've been overspending with their credit card.
Yes.
So it's a matter of the cash flow.
Right.
So
cash flow.
It's kind of two separate issues, but obviously, they are trying to reset financially a little bit. They feel like ownership feels like John and Kyle have been a little too free with the old credit card.
Yeah, right.
Daddy's credit card.
Little shopping sprees.
Yeah. And we had Jennifer Lee Chan on a couple of days ago, Drapes, when you were gone. And that was one of my questions was, even though we see them pulling back on the reins a little bit, like Whitey said, they're pulling back the credit card spending limit, are they still going to be all in? And she said, absolutely, they're still all in. There's just a few things they want to tidy up. They They don't want to have to keep digging into the savings account. They just want to play with the checking account money.
Right.
All right. Hey, Jay, what about Bosa's brother? You want to get Joey Bosa?
Yeah, for the low. I need a brotherly discount. So, I know Drapes wouldn't, as Agent Draper wouldn't want to, talk to me, wouldn't want to have a contract negotiate with me. But I think Joey's made his money. I think he's happy. Sounds like he wants to be in California. You're going to have to give him something competitive, probably, around that $5-6 million a year. But anything over 10, I think you got a problem.
Oh, you guys, man. It's like bringing in the NASA Satentacoopa. You know what I mean?
Don't disrespect Joey like that. Come on.
I'm messing with you. But I will say this, and this is something I thought of, when the Bosa news came out, Joey Bosa. Why the hell do Niners think, or Niners fans think, anybody that hits the market, oh, he's coming here. We got to get this guy.
Well, because his brother plays on the team.
It's like DK Metcalf. Somebody want to trade. Oh, he's coming here. We got to get. It's like,
no,
dude, you can't get everybody. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe it's just wishful thinking.
No, I don't.
There's 31 other teams out there.
The Devontae Adams talk.
The Devontae Adams. He got to come. Like
Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett threw it out there. Remember that?
Miles Garrett. Yeah, it's like, damn, Niners fans. I thought y'all had the best roster in all of football going into
Not
the
anymore.
season.
That was last year, man. Stop bringing up old stuff, Drake.
Man, Niners fans, y'all kill me, man.
Yeah. So the bottom line is Seattle got a 3rd-round pick for Geno. Good for them and good for him. Yeah. We'll come back.
Got some news, too, regarding Jaylen Brunson.
Really?
Coming up in just a little
All right.
bit.
We'll have that for you when we come right back to Gold One Center on Sackdown Sports.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take a boat out for a spin or go mail something?
Boat wins!
Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing?
Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Every Saturday in March is your chance to shoot your shot at Sky River Casino's $250,000 Slam Dunk Cash Giveaway. Play slots and table games to earn entries and get 100 bonus entries every Monday and Tuesday. Visit Sky River Casino daily to score a free entry. Then join every Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. for a chance to win up to $250,000. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older.
Northwest Exteriors wants to keep you cool all season long. Trusted in Sacramento for heating and cooling systems. Book your tune-up today as part of our 30th anniversary special. Call 888-TRUST-NW or visit trustnorthwest.com.
Simply the best. Trust Northwest.
The Drive Guys, live and local. Every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Al Draper tells us he's got news on Jaylen Brunson. And, of course, Monday, Jaylen Brunson's team, the Knicks, will be here. Will he be participating, Drapes?
According to Shams Charania, New York Knicks star Jaylen Brunson is expected to miss at least 2 weeks with a right ankle sprain. So he is out for Monday's game here at the G1C.
He's also out for the Clippers and the Knicks tonight, right?
Tonight, that's huge. Yeah. Hopefully, Marquel Bridges can, step up bigger. Cat, somebody, because we need the Knicks to win tonight, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you see that the Knicks? They had the 4th best record in the league. So the teams ahead of them are OKC and is it Boston and Cleveland? And they're 0-7 against those 3 teams.
Yes. And I think 0-9 now against, if you include the Lakers. So
wow,
the two tight teams in the top of the East and in the top of the West.
Yeah.
They have not beaten.
It's fourth best record. Like, here we go, but they can't beat the best
Right.
team.
Even we got a W against Boston, at least. You know what I mean? And so, real quick, Whitey, just to wrap up our Niners conversation.
Yes.
Shout out to Beeman on the YouTube chat. You want me to read that?
Yeah.
I'll read that. Yeah, we're tripping on all these players. Man, if you listen to some of our fans, talking about Niners fans, you would think we're getting Max, Garrett, DK, Adams, Tom Brady, and Prime Bo Jackson. That's what I'm Niners fans living in a delusional world sometimes. You know, it's like this ain't Madden or 2K where you could just acquire a super team. And although you've tried to do it, come on, man, you got to be more realistic. So I just wanted to get that out there.
Of all the messages you picked, that's the one you want to choose.
That's the one I know, right? It's been hundreds all throughout the afternoon. That one stood out.
They went to the board one time today, Whitey.
Okay. All right.
Just say it.
What did you think of Charles Barkley going after ESPN last night? Charles Barkley, I think he speaks for a lot of fans in this area when he says all ESPN does is they just talk about the Lakers. All I do is talk about the Lakers and the Warriors. He said that's because them fools on the other network, which we're going to be working for next year, that's all they talk about. But y'all are idiots because y'all talk about the Lakers and the Warriors all the time. And then your guys, Kendrick Perkins, went back at him.
Big Perk.
Yeah. And it's interesting because TNT apparently took that clip off their X feed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And people are wondering now whether Charles Barkley is mad at Kendrick Perkins or if he's just mad at ESPN, who they're kind of going to be working for next year.
You know, Charles is a fan of Kyle Draper's. He's a fan of mine. Remember on his show?
Yes, he said that.
Kyle Draper.
He literally said that.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm getting tired.
Kyle Draper has a great point, though, right there.
There you go.
That's
factual.
No truer statement has ever been spoken by Charles Barkley. You know what I mean? But here's the reason why, and Perk talked about it, Stephen A talked about it. Here's the reason why they only talk about the Lakers, Warriors. They're the faces of the NBA. It is what it is. Their business, their job is to get ratings. It's not to, make fans in Milwaukee happy. Let's call it what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's why our players will never be a top 2 or 3 fan vote getter. It just is what it is. And so when you talk about a national show, you have to appeal to a national audience. How come when we have potential Super Bowl matchups or NBA Finals matchups, people say, well, man, if it's OKC and Cleveland, not many people are going to watch? Because it's true. If it's Knicks, Lakers, the ratings are off. Dodgers, Yankees, it is what it is. Those are the teams, the players, the franchises that drive ratings. They're in it for business reasons. Now, a show like a channel like NBA TV, the so-called Leagues Network, to me, should be highlighting the best in the league, the great games, whatever it is. But First Take, Stephen A, NBA Today, more people care about whether the Lakers win or lose than whether Brooklyn pulled an upset over somebody, or you know what I mean? It's just the nature of business, Whitey.
Right.
And so, to Charles, I think he's gone overboard. I'm a little tired of his stick lately. That's just me.
I think he's right. What you said is right, but he's definitely right as well. You had Orlovsky saying he was on some other podcast. It was not an ESPN podcast. And he said, I'm sick of talking about the Dallas Cowboys. That's all we talk about. TNT doesn't only talk about the Lakers. A lot of people are tired of ESPN and everything is through a Laker filter. I think I told you the story. The great Nick Friedel told us one time that he was in an ESPN meeting. This was a few years ago, but with Steph and LeBron. And he said, all right, at the meeting, they told the writers, NBA writers, this is what people care about. And they had a chart. It's like at the top, LeBron. That's what people care about. Then there's a little bit of a drop off. Then there was Steph. And then there was a huge drop off. And it's like everybody else. So that's their mandate.
Yep.
But I mean, Charles speaks for a lot of fans. Now, the answer is, to your point, just don't watch it if you don't want to hear all that.
Right.
But he's right. They do sometimes. It does get kind of tiresome. Lakers, 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 Warriors, Warriors, Lakers, Lakers, Lakers.
It does get tiresome, but how about this, Whitey? If you turned it off, if you didn't watch, if the ratings went down, don't you think conversely they would change their topics? Like they're chasing.
I tried that and it didn't work. But
you know what I mean? Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. You know, apparently a lot of people are still watching. You know, you listen to Stephen A. Smith, always hyping up the ratings of First Take and how successful they are. Apparently, from a business standpoint, it's working for them. And so it does get tiring. Two things can be true. Yes, it's tiring, but it's still working for them financially.
Yeah. The larger question that's kind of interesting is, Jimmy Trainer was writing about this. Does Barkley have some kind of axe to grind against ESPN because contractually ESPN is going to be like distributing their show next year?
Yeah.
I have no idea, but it's an unusual situation where it's TNT is producing the show, but ESPN is actually broadcasting it.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird dynamic. And, you know, Stephen A. talked about it today. Him and Charles are actually boys. They're close. They're friends.
Unlike Stephen A. and LeBron.
Right. Unlike Stephen A. and LeBron. And I think when you look at it, you know, Charles, to me, he's not on that show for his basketball knowledge. He's on the show for the entertainment and shock value purposes. And so he's just playing his role when he makes comments like this. And so we'll see if they, you know, go on Disney or, you know, ESPN now. Does he still take shots at First Take and some of those other shows on ESPN? It'll be interesting to see.
One of the things I appreciate about Inside the NBA is there's only 4 people on it. That's kind of a lot, but it used to be a lot, but now it's not. Some of the shows, like even the football pre and post game shows on TV and like Inside the NBA, sometimes they have a few people, but sometimes those shows have so many people, like they'll have 5 or 6 people there and they don't have that much time. And all anyone has to say is like, yeah, well, I think they're really going to play well tonight because they played well last night. And it's like, then it's on to the next one. It's like, it's too many people and none of them have a chance to say anything on that show. Yeah. Or like on the Amazon football post
the NFL when they got like 7 guys. I know, I hate that.
So many people on there.
Crazy. And who was it? Which one is Gronk on? Fox? Even that one.
Yes.
It's on Fox.
Even that one has like 5 or 6 guys. It's too much.
Too many
people, man.
And those people aren't working for free, as you know.
Yeah. Let me throw this out at you as we
because you represent many of them.
I know. Exactly. How about the deal Stephen A. Smith reportedly signed?
I mean, good for him.
5 years,
I don't watch him, but good for him.
$20 million a year.
Yeah.
Something must be working.
You're right.
You know what I mean? You know, I get tired of him sometimes. I have to tune him out sometimes. But apparently ESPN would not be paying this guy this much, having him on everything if he did not resonate with viewers.
That is true. That's an indisputable point. As for tonight, how do the Kings slow down De'Aaron Fox? Forget about all the drama, but in terms of the basketball game, how do they slow him down tonight?
I mean, I look at our on-ball defenders. First of all, you got to make Fox into a jump shooter.
Yes.
You can't let him get downhill, get to the paint.
Right.
Or get to the mid-range shot. And so, don't employ the same defense we saw against Russell Westbrook to just lead a guy wide open. I think that they took the game plan a little too literal the other night. And so I think with, De'Aaron Fox, don't let him attack the rim. Don't turn the ball over, Whitey. Transition. That's going to be key tonight. He likes to get up and down. He's tough in the open floor. And so, but I'm not overreacting. I'm not sending 2 to De'Aaron Fox.
No.
Like, Keon, that's your man. Guard your yard. Keegan, if you're on him, guard your yard. We'll give the appropriate help if he's going to the basket, something like that. But I'm not overreacting. I'm not, sending 2 or 3 at him or anything like that because the Spurs have capable other guys.
San Antonio, you're right. San Antonio is a difficult team to figure out if you just look at the numbers because you look at their season numbers and they say they're this, they're that.
Yeah.
But that was with Wemby, and it's a different team now.
It's different.
And if you look at them over the last several games, they've really been taking and making a lot of threes.
Yeah.
So to your point about De'Aaron Fox, you can't let him break down your defense and then just spray threes, your favorite term.
Right.
Guys like Champagne have been knocking down threes at a high clip.
Yeah.
So, you
he's
got to
tough.
be cautious of that tonight.
And let me say this too. They are a different team. They got some athletes, man. They got some guys that can get out and run. Keldon Johnson, obviously Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle, right?
Sean Elliott was raving about.
Yes, and let me ask you this, because I feel like we're a different team, and we've talked about this the other day. I don't know if we're a fast-paced team anymore. So is this a half-court, grinded-out game? Does that benefit us more tonight instead of trying to get in a track meet with these guys?
I feel like we are not an up-and-down team, but no one wants to admit it publicly.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And you always, in basketball, if you have a chance to get an easy basket, you take it. But I feel like with this personnel, I feel like they're better served, kind of slowing it down a little bit. But it's like,
I agree.
You don't really say that,
right? Dude, I'm going on an island. I'm not speaking for the organization here or the coaching staff, but I agree with you. I think we're probably, especially tonight, we can take advantage of it, because here's the thing: Vassell he not no lockdown defender. Keldon Johnson ain't no lockdown defender. HB, is getting long in the tooth. And so I think we can exploit them in the half court set. No Wemby on the back line.
Right.
So, I'm okay with, not getting into a sprinting match, a track meet with these guys.
You know what I like about Valanciunas in the half court? He is a better passer than I think he gets credit for.
Yes.
But also, and, he hasn't had as good a year as Domas. But Jonas, when he gets the ball, he makes his decisions, whatever it is, quicker than Domas does sometimes. Sometimes Domas has it fake, and Jonas is whatever he's going to do, he does it a lot quicker, and it keeps things moving.
Exactly. And I think, Domas has gotten to a point where he's sort of like, if I'm going to make the NFL comparison, my boy Jalen Hurts. Hurts is so good, he's going to hold it for the, perfect pass or whatever. I feel like Domas is so good at passing. He's like, whereas Valanciunas, somebody open, I'm just getting off it. Domas is trying to make the perfect read out there. And so, and let's be honest too, Valanciunas opens up things for Levine, DeMar, to have the ball more in their hands too. I think offensively.
Yeah, he's been a real good fit so far. Keegan hopes for a favorable Fox reception. We'll hear from him when we come back to the Gold One Center on Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Northwest Exteriors.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Beautiful Saturday ahead with less wind. It'll be chilly in the morning with temperatures in the upper 30s, but with plenty of sun, afternoon highs will be near 70. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
When our old heater collapsed with we needed a new heater, and we needed one quickly. It was very cold, but there are so many HVAC companies out there. So how do you choose? A friend recommended we check out Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating at leesair.com, and it was a smart move to take that advice because Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating was ready to come out the day we called. They treated us very well, from the person who answered the phone to the guys who installed our new HVAC unit. So it comes down to this. Why choose Lee's? They offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. They get 4.8 stars on Google. So lots of friends recommend them. They've won awards for their service, and they've spent more than 40 years serving the Valley's HVAC heating and plumbing needs. You can trust Lee's with installation and repair of your AC, furnace, and water heater, plus residential and commercial plumbing repair and commercial HVAC services too. You can find out more at leesair.com. You want to check out their mission statement. It's all about serving customers and serving the community. And check on their $99 HVAC tune-up special. Let Lee's take care of you the way they took care of me, treating us like family, while setting us up with an HVAC system that it's improved the air in our home and the airflow. It has improved our quality of life. Lee's Air, Plumbing, and Heating. License number 635355.
Spring is in the air, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping for new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Meanwhile at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speed vary, not guaranteed.
Danzig live. With special guests Down, Aboth, and Chromags. Saturday, March 22nd, 6 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. On sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss Danzig.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
So fine, blow my mind. Ooh.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much eyes on Sacktown Sports.
De'Aaron Fox returning tonight. Of course, we're going to hear what he had to say to the local media in just a few moments before the game. I've been, if you have to be one side or the other, I think I've been pro Fox, but I don't know why he says things like this. I do think that a lot of people have overreacted to some things he's said. In my opinion, people around here have thought that he's been taking shots at the city or people when he really hasn't. But this is just an example to me of things like, you don't need to say that. And this was in the ESPN story. During Mike's extension talk, some guys in the locker room didn't want Mike. Some guys want him to be fired during the summer. but I'm not going to say who. You don't need to say that, right?
Right. It's like he dropped the grenade and walked out the room. Like, all right, I'm out of here. I'll throw this out there, blow up the whole organization. And yeah, you're right. He didn't need to say
Right. Yeah. Let's hear what he did have to say. Talking to reporters today, we mentioned Sean Cunningham earlier. He was in the scrum. Here's De'Aaron Fox this morning at the Golden One with local reporters. Maybe not.
Yeah. Stand by.
My bad. That's on me. That's on me. Do we have Keegan? Jay, can we hear some Keegan? We'll get to it. Here's Keegan. Keegan talked to reporters, and he hopes that De'Aaron gets a favorable reception tonight.
2.5 years that he's been here, and he's gotten us to the playoffs and things like that. So, I just think that he gave his all when he was here. So, I just hope for the best reception for him.
As Uncle Keegan, are you excited to see Rain and Poppy?
Yeah. I've missed them. I'm used to seeing them after the games and stuff. So, it's been a change, and obviously, I've talked to them and things like that since our time being apart. So, I'm just looking forward to seeing his family for sure.
Good for Keegan, but I don't want to hear that today. Yeah. Good for him. That's great, but I don't need to hear that.
That's what I'm worried about. On the court, is he keeping that same energy? And if so, Keegan, I would, if it was me, Keegan got to be Keegan. But if somebody asks me, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm also looking forward to busting his ass on the court tonight, too. Something like that.
Right.
It's a little too nice with it.
I love him. He's a nice guy. He's a handsome little cool guy, man. I bet he make the honor roll all the time and all that kind of stuff.
That's awesome, Will. That's awesome.
Maybe Keegan felt like, look, I'm trying to smooth things over. I'm trying to do whatever I can to make it more likely that De'Aaron's going to get a favorable reaction. I don't know, maybe, but yeah, that was a little too warm and fuzzy. If he's retired or something coming back, then it's like, oh, I can't wait to see his family.
Right.
But you're playing against him tonight.
But how about this, Whitey? Because you brought this up earlier, and I'm just thinking here. Maybe it's sort of reverse psychology. Should we shower De'Aaron with love and praise today and get him all emotional?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, like, oh, this was a great play. Get him all emotional. He might, bring a tear to his eye or something like that. They just, we flip it on him because he's right. He's in the hotel room right now, pumping iron, getting ready.
Right.
He's going to be ready. Maybe we take the opposite approach tonight, Kings fans. Shower him with love. And something he's probably not expecting.
Yeah. Here's what De'Aaron had to say today to the local media.
Or Sacramento question, what did you like about living there? What were some of your favorite things about that?
I loved it, man. One, the weather is definitely a lot better than people give it. But like me growing up in Texas, I'm used to 90 degrees feeling like 120. And out there like 150.
That's the De'Aaron from talking to the San Antonio media. Did you hear that one, Drapes? Where he said, the people that love me, I appreciate that. And those that are going to boo, I never worry about bitter people.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah, that was the other day in San Antonio. And apparently he does worry about bitter people because didn't he call into every radio station? And, it's like it got to him. The negative stuff got to him,
Mm-hmm.
And so, he does get bothered by it, if you will.
Yeah. He's trying hard not to let it bother him. But, yeah, I do think he's the type of player that would get a little extra energy from getting booed. We'll see. Again, I'm not saying don't boo him because he's going to kill us. I'm just saying I'm interested to see how he responds to that.
Yeah, exactly. And, hopefully, he gets him out of his sorts. All right, you want to go 1-on-5, go for it,
Right.
Ideally, I'm looking at a 5 for 19 kind of night for De'Aaron Fox, So it's we'll see what happens tonight. We'll see what happens.
I think that DeMar and Zach, to maybe a lesser degree, but still, the two of them, I think they have something that they're trying to prove that goes beyond De'Aaron or how they felt about De'Aaron or the coaches or anything. And I asked the two of them about this the last time they were here. I think they're still trying to prove, and DeMar said, yes, we are trying to prove that the two of them together can succeed, can win in the postseason.
Right.
Now, they've both accomplished individual things that, they're both fine players. One's a surefire Hall of Famer. They've been all-stars. Individually, yes, they're bona fide. But can the two of them together, can they actually help a team win? They couldn't quite do that in Chicago. And DeMar says, yeah, we're still trying to prove that. And I think you can see that in the determination that he's bringing to the floor every night. That's something that matters to him in the rest of this season.
I think so. And you also got to look at both of their careers, together and separately. DeMar coming up through the Toronto Raptors organization, he gets traded and then bam, they win.
Yeah.
So he's being labeled as a guy that hasn't won yet, not a winner. Same thing with Zach LaVine. And so I think when you talk about these two players, in terms of trying to win, not only to, dispel that narrative, their legacies too.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you look at DeMar DeRozan, he's already top 27 all time in NBA scoring. If he could somehow get a championship too, that raises him so much. And so I think that's what's fueling these guys right now.
Yeah. And I think once again, the acumen of the organization is in question here because, wow, you went out and got these guys, and Domas is another one. They haven't done much in the postseason. Well, why would you do that? Well, because the organization believes it can work, and we'll see. Right. But that's another thing that's kind of hanging in the balance this season.
Yeah, and when you talk about DeMar and LaVine, we saw what happened in Chicago. They succeeded early with Lonzo. Lonzo goes down, and so it's almost sort of feels the same. Even though you got Malik out there running the point, you got Domas, who's an upgrade clearly over Vucevic. But, it's almost like, I will say this about the team and the current state of the franchise and the roster, Whitey. Moves can still be made in the offseason.
Yeah.
Like, just because this is our team now doesn't mean this is the team for the next 5 years. Maybe we make a trade to go get a point guard. Maybe we make a trade to go add more depth to the bench. Who knows what's going to happen? To me, this is the first iteration of this group, and you got to give it time to develop, and you also got to add, subtract, tinker here and there. Definitely not a blow. We're not in a blow-up scenario with this franchise at all. I think, we're close, and you got to tinker with it.
Mm-hmm. I sure hope Marquel Foltz is in a better frame of mind or whatever it is tonight. The Kings could use him tonight. He could be really useful here in this stretch without Malik, however long it is.
Right. And when we saw Marquel struggle a little bit the other night, had those 2 early turnovers in Denver. And I'm a firm believer when it comes to Marquel, as I pull up the box score the other night. He played 9 minutes and change. Listed only 1 turnover, but I thought he should have been credited.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about right there.
And the 1 turnover was a bad turnover.
Yeah, it was. But I think he's the type you got to let play a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Give him 5-6 minutes, and it can't be 3 minutes in the hook, 4 minutes in the hook. I think he needs to ease his way into a game. And unfortunately, coming off the bench, that's hard to do.
Anthony Slater is going to join us at the top of the hour. And Slate's, along with Sam Amick, wrote the piece in The Athletic about De'Aaron Fox that a lot of people are talking about today. Of course, after Slate's, we're going to hear, assuming it gets started on time, we'll hear Doug's pregame.
Yes.
And we'll come back with, it's staple of the show, Whitey's wish list is next here from the Golden One as we get ready for the return of De'Aaron Fox on Sacktown Sports.
1 ticket, 2 huge shows. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy haulers, and motorhome. And loads of ATVs too. 2 shows, 1 massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. On now at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at 2hugeshows.com.
Huge savings now on new 2025 Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. With $10,250 off MSRP after rebates on select new 2025 LT models at Maida Chevy. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,250 off new Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. 5 to be offer must own 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Made a great deal at Maida.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Hello, I'm Frank Hopper with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Tariff talk turned out to not just be talk after all. Well, this could still be a negotiating tactic. The tariffs came into place this week. After pleading from the auto industry, the tariffs for them were put on hold for now for those automobiles that were manufactured following the existing U.S. and Mexico Canada agreement signed in 2020. The concern is real, though. The estimates are an average of $3,000 to be added to the cost of each vehicle. Who pays this cost? The consumer, the manufacturer, or do they share this cost? During the 30-day pause, the expectation is that U.S.-based car companies will work to increase production in the U.S. This could work in areas with factories running at less capacity, but will that be enough to satisfy the mandate for the use of U.S.-based workers? U.S.-based companies say they support investments in domestic workers, but need more assurances and guidance on future tariff policies and emission standards before they can adjust production. Is 30 days enough to turn the production ship around sufficiently? How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Mosaic Wealth, member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned in other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper. You know I'm a big guy, right, everybody? So sometimes, even my SUV or sedan, I want a little more space. Maybe I want to take the fellas to the football game or to the basketball game. Maybe I want to go golfing. Well, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has the perfect solution. They have a Vans Fleet Center, and they understand your business needs. They understand your personal needs as well. They have a great inventory and a huge selection, and plus they have the perfect van to power your fleet, including the new fully electric e-Sprinter alongside those reliable diesel options. So if you're looking for a new van just for personal reasons or even for your business fleet, head on over to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. And get this, you can take advantage of their exclusive limited time 0% APR financing offer for up to 60 months on select models. So head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbfstockton.com and tell them Drape sent you.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Okay. Sam Amick just came by to say hi.
Yeah, I was going to grab him on the show, and I forgot we got his colleague, Anthony Slater. Slater would be pissed off, like, damn, bro, you got me on and you got him on. And so,
thank you, Sam. Yeah.
The fact that Sam agreed, that shows you what kind of guy he is. Stand-up dude, man.
Right. He's just trying to get us in trouble with Carmichael Dave.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah, he's an instigator.
Aren't we already warring with the other shows anyway? Aren't we already beefing?
I think one of us might be.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Sam Amick and Anthony Slater, of course, wrote the piece in The Athletic today. And Slate's going to join us at 5. So Drapes brought in the right-hander, and then he said, no, go back to the pen.
We got the lefty instead coming up, and so, thanks for pointing that out. I totally forgot, man. Well,
you're just excited to see Sam.
Right, I saw Sam. Well, I was like, this the dude. And then I was like, oh, we already got the other dude as well. So, all good. Good.
Isn't it funny? I remember going back to October when the two of them wrote that piece about De'Aaron. And frankly, I know you had said, I don't know that there's anything to that. None of us knew where it was going, but they were on the money with all that stuff. And it turned out to all come to fruition.
Yeah. And what I said at the time was there were some juicy nuggets in there that would get people talking.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. And, the question we asked earlier, how did we get to that point? The writing was on the wall, White.
Yeah.
The situation with Mike Brown and his contract. Remember, the Kings weren't so 100% sure. And now everything starts to make more sense. It's like, all right, they weren't sure if they wanted Mike Brown. Why weren't they sure if they wanted Mike Brown?
Right.
Well, apparently, a couple of players didn't want to play for Mike Brown, and and so it all starts to come together right now.
Here's, earlier, I don't mean to just retread all this, but I was saying, I think it would behoove the Kings to get their side of it out there. Here's what I mean. They're getting killed today by the aggregators.
Yes.
You've noticed that.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have these two pieces and then people are just taking this bit. Yeah. Domas doesn't know what's going on with the team,
and
they're just a barrage of these little headlines that are, overstated, somewhat misleading, and the Kings are getting peppered with those today.
Yes. Can I change the subject real quick?
Yes.
Real quick.
Yes.
Because, our boy Sean Cunningham, who was just on with us a few hours ago, and this is totally off the subject.
Fine.
Something totally different, but I felt like I needed to bring it up because this is our final segment to talk about whatever before we get Slater and Doug Christie. Sean Cunningham, the Athletics, who will play in West Sacramento for the next 3 to 4 years, will be wearing Las Vegas on the sleeve of their uniforms. A's announced a 3-year marketing partnership with the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority as the official travel destination partner. So they're coming to Sac 3 to 4 years. Won't have Sacramento in the name. No Sacramento A's gear, but we'll have Las Vegas patch on the sleeve.
That's disrespectful.
That's very disrespectful.
Yeah.
So I had to get that in. Like, I just saw that.
I'm glad you did. Thank you.
That's disrespectful, fellas.
How does that
I'm
make us
feeling some
feel,
kind of way.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I brought it up. It's like, just hold off on that. You know what I mean? Just pause.
Right.
You don't have to do that right now.
So you said it's a business deal. It's a deal with who now? With the city of Vegas?
Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, the official travel destination partner of the Oakland A's.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, the A's.
You're right. Yeah. Maybe that's why they didn't want to have.
That's tough. That's
Sacramento
tough
on
to
their
swallow.
jerseys.
That's tough to swallow.
Right.
Let me ask you guys.
Business as usual.
Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. Opening day is coming up. You guys have any desire to attend?
If I'm being
Broadcast
honest,
live. Like, be honest. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You want to be there. All right.
I love baseball.
Jay, do we need to set that up? or-
Yeah, no,
because they're
I
on
did.
a
I did want to be
different,
there, but that news right there kind of slows me down. It's a speed bump in the road.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right. That hurts, man.
Yeah, that's
For
why.
the Athletics, this partnership is more than just a jersey patch. It's the beginning of the transition to our new home, A's owner John Fisher said. This is a chance to wear our hearts on our sleeves for the next 3 years before
come on.
bringing the vibrant spirit of our new home front and center across our uniform.
Yeah.
I hate you.
To me, they're not our team. They're a team that is playing here.
Yeah. It's no more clearer than right now.
Right. And the tickets are all sold, so they could do whatever they want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a gut punch.
Yeah,
right there,
it is,
brother.
Drapes. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is.
It's one thing not
You
to
said
put-
on the sleeve. I'm sorry. to
Yeah, on the
interrupt that.
sleeve. So
Okay.
you'll see it, every
Yeah.
game. It's one thing not to put Sacramento in the name. Okay, I get that because Vegas, but damn, it's like you're flaunting it, taunting us with it. Every game, it's a reminder. They're just a short-term rental.
Right. Right.
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah. I don't hold it against the players. By the way, congrats to Lawrence Butler signing.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
deal.
guy.
Yeah, they're gonna have some players that are gonna be fun to watch, but that's business as usual from that ownership.
It's almost kind of like tone deaf, if you will.
Exactly.
Like, if you're trying to, and maybe they don't want Sacramento to embrace them.
Yeah.
Because if we do, then when they, the vitriol, but
they want our money though. They
right,
want us to
that's
embrace
the thing.
Embrace us with your wallet.
Right.
Yeah. And tone deaf's a nice way to say it. It's just disrespectful and insensitive. Tone deaf is the nice way to say it.
Yeah. That's tough, man. That's it's, and I'm looking at the patch. It literally says Las Vegas, but you're not calling yourself the Las Vegas A's yet, but you're wearing the patch. That's
Yeah, Brandon Diesman points out they posted renderings on their Instagram of the new stadium as well. I saw that.
Yeah.
Them things look fake.
I don't. Yeah.
Even
I
the
don't know
renderings
if
look
the
fake, fellas. Like come on, man. But this one is real. I mean, this is something that is dear. I'll say this as someone that has been pushing and being positive about the situation. that is a slap in the face. That is like you're renting out a house, and I'm trying to see where to go with this. You're renting out a house, and
right.
I'm renting from the Draper Management Company, but at the same time, I walk in and I'm like, you know what? Nah, I got my Chris Marlowe jersey on. It's like I don't know. It's a little off.
Right.
It's a little off. It just I'm trying to figure out how it really breaks down. That's tough, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the games will still be well attended, so that's the other reason they can do it.
Yeah.
Tickets are already sold. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of tickets.
Yeah. And what, we 3 weeks away, from opening day here
in March.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Real quick, Drapes, what do you think of Whitey's wish list here for tonight? Yeah. I always appreciate
Sorry to bring down the mood. I apologize.
No, I'm glad we got to that. I hadn't seen that. I appreciate that. I almost feel like saying, I told you so. I didn't. But it just doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, that's
one tonight, Drapes. You got to be like the Beatles. You got to get back and defend the 3-point line. The Spurs are averaging 129.6 points per game over the last 3, 130 a game over the last 3, and they're shooting 42% on threes. So they don't really have that kind of reputation. But that's how they've been playing the last 3 games.
Is this the new iteration though of them? Like, I'm sorry, how do you defend that?
Well, the main thing you got to do is get back. I think transition defense has not been all that it should be for the Kings. And like you say, they might want to slow things down. You can't let this team get out and bury the wide open corner threes. Russell Westbrook made a lot of those. There was no one near him.
Yeah.
He made 4 threes in the corner with nobody near him.
And real quick, I talked to Doug about that, and he said, the game plan is to give up, Westbrook 3, but he doesn't want to give up the corner 3.
Yeah.
So, above the break 3, okay. But to your point, like 3 corner 3s last game. That happened tonight.
2 is get Keegan involved early and often. Get back to the more even shot distribution and away from DeMar missing more shots than anybody else takes. He missed 18 shots.
That's probably a good right wish. Get away from DeMar missing more shots than anybody else takes.
Right? Good rule of thumb, generally.
Because when we were on our winning streak, and we talked about this, there was balance.
Yes.
Remember, we had balance.
Yes. Yeah. And then thirdly, and we've talked about this, do not let the emotion of tonight distract you from the task at hand. This is a critical game. Winning this game is all that really matters. The rest of it, it's for us to talk about, for fans to boo or not boo, but you got to take care of your business on the court. That's all that really matters, and it really does matter tonight. It's important.
Right, exactly. Take the emotion out of it. I understand, and if you do have emotion, make it positive. You know what I mean?
Right.
But don't be overjuiced. Don't try to get too much out of pocket. This is a must-win game, even without De'Aaron Fox coming back. That's the most important thing.
Right. That's Whitey's wish list for today. You generally approve?
Yeah, that's solid.
All right. Yeah,
that's a good one today.
Anthony Slater's going to join us. Also, we will hear Doug Christie's pregame coming up here. Drive Guys getting ready for the Kings and the Spurs, of course, on Sacktown Sports.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Full of ups and downs. The baseball team's going to play in town, but then it turns out they're wearing the patch of another city on their sleeve. Oh, you're up, you're down. Your favorite basketball team, you're up, you're down. Some things you want to go up and down, though, not your favorite basketball team. Certainly your garage door. When your garage door starts going up or going down, but not both, then it's time to call National Garage Door, 916-638-4554. Our old garage door had to be put down. It was making that sound. So National Garage Door came out, took great care of us. Old door out, new one up in short order. The new door looks great, works great, sounds great, which comes as no surprise because National Garage Door has been around since 1974, and that's because service comes first. If you need a garage door upgrade, which, by the way, can boost your home's curb appeal, Call National Garage Door or find them on the web at nationalgaragedoor.com. That's 916-638-4554. Commercial or residential repair or installation of a new door, National Garage Door has everything you need. National Garage Door, 916-638-4554.
Way to go. You've stuck to your resolution to become a fitter you, and now those exercises that pushed you to your limits the first time around are already feeling easier. So what's next? At InShape, taking your workout to the next level can be as easy as trying something new. Take our small group training classes like boxing, rowing, and more, or set new goals with an InShape personal trainer. Then recover with a massage or the sauna, also known as the best part of the workout. We are InShape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
One ticket, 2 huge shows. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. On now at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at 2hugeshows.com.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. When buying a new grill, every detail matters. For March, grab a $149 gift with purchase of every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill, including a pizza lover starter kit and much more. More March savings include up to $79 off Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium stainless steel that boasts quality. See how Napoleon will help you achieve the perfect grilling experience. Visit Green Acres Nursery today with your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet? RV wins! Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach? RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
My wife was like, I want to go to Hawaii and I want to bring the kids. And I was like, whose kids?
Jim Gaffigan. Everything is wonderful.
I spent the entire time applying and reapplying sunscreen, which thankfully makes my skin whiter.
Jim Gaffigan. A night of all new material. Saturday, March 29th. The venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports, 1140.
I expected a good basketball game.
How about from a crowd standpoint?
I mean, I saw the boos, so it is what it is.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Anthony Slater joining us here. Just got back from Brooklyn covering the Warriors last night. Of course, Slate's in Sam Amick, who was nearly a guest on the show earlier today.
But we bumped him. We needed you. You're our guy.
Good.
You know what I mean?
They wrote this incredible piece in The Athletic today. I was going to ask you what the feedback's been, but you've been on the road. I don't know if you've gotten any feedback.
I've been in the air today.
Yeah.
You can get text messages on
right.
the air in these days. There's definitely people reaching out today in various through various avenues. But look, this was always guaranteed to be the hot date, right? With De'Aaron coming back, it was going to kind of bring up. I know some of the local conversation today is hoping that this is, the final version of I guess not even reminiscing on it, but stewing over it, whatever, with the eggs. And I do think, I've covered probably one of the more venomous versions of this, which was the Durant back to Oklahoma City one. I covered that one, and that was one of the weirder nights of my career, but at the same time, it has never been as bad there or talked about as much than it was that night. I think
that was a cupcake game, right?
Yeah, cupcake.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that. But yeah, this was always guaranteed to be a night of reflection on how it maybe went wrong with De'Aaron.
You and Sam, incredible detail in the article. I urge everybody to go check it out. Where do you think it went wrong? Was it the Mike Brown? Was it, this off season? Was it dysfunction in the organization? What do you think ultimately led us to this point, or was it a bunch of things?
No, it's all of the above there, right?
Yeah.
That's why it has to be done in kind of a nuanced way. I think it's the disappointment of the 48-46 wins, which was actually the 3 seed to the 9 seed. I think it's been maybe some non-trades over the last couple of years. You hear how close Pascal Siakam was. Is this a different world if they had pulled the trigger on that Siakam move right now? Potentially, it's going into the offseason, I think it is an organization and even a core, a roster that is, basically. I think Mike Brown was clearly trying to, bring winning habits to the organization and doing it in a way that in some ways I think by some players can be viewed as like micromanaging and obsessing over the defensive end, even though the roster build tilted towards the offensive end. And Mike was pretty transparent, even going back to prior to his second season when he had all the goodwill off the first season of he was going to really demand defensive accountability because his belief and De'Aaron Fox's belief, and I think that's what is beginning to come through more and more. Right. I would hope to the public is De'Aaron and Mike were kind of had a symbiosis on their belief of what winning really was. Mm-hmm. And that was, I think, a level of defensive game planning and strategy and practice and work that, maybe not all the roster agreed with. And at we've reported kind of the friction of the contract negotiations over the summer. Yeah. De'Aaron using his power to voice what he wanted, and then how it all kind of devolved into this year, and that 0-5 homestand, which now can just be viewed so infamously, right? And then of course, if you're talking about what ended it, not what led to the end, because it might have been ending anyways, but what was the final dagger was not only the Mike Brown firing, but we don't need to get into the detail of it, how it was done,
right?
And how everybody then pointed the microscope at De'Aaron, which was
and the organization didn't come out Monty or nobody came out,
which was the exact opposite of the case. So you can, I think any human can understand his frustration and how that was tilted towards him when it was completely the opposite.
Yeah, talking of course to Anthony Slater from The Athletic. I remember some of your very early reporting on this, and the quote from De'Aaron that really stands out to me is, I don't want to just be a team that's trying to get to the playoffs every year. I want to be a team that's competing, at a high level year after year after year. That really stood out to me because I felt that between the time he said it and the end of this season, I thought, wow, that's going to be hard to pull off. Was there any way realistically for the Kings to achieve what De'Aaron was asking of them?
Yeah, I think when you go back to the Siakam trade or non-trade, when OG Anunoby was available, some of the various moves they could or didn't make over the years, maybe that would have changed it. Maybe this summer, if they had gotten Caruso instead of just using the pick on, Devin Carter. And again, that's partly a Chicago choice, right? Mm-hmm. They prioritized Josh Giddey, but he clearly wanted bigger wings. He wanted more of his belief of playoff type two-way defensive players. He's voiced that. And So, like, to answer your question, I mean, maybe by the time this season started, it was kind of failed anyways. The roster, maybe the situation, maybe the core's belief in Mike Brown's, coaching style, and how Mike wanted to build this team to win in the playoffs. And, they seem to kind of just want a little bit more freedom to run up the score offensively. And, you go back to the first year and kind of the shifting philosophies there. So there's so much, again, as we were talking about, there's so much involved to why it got here.
Anthony Slater joining us. Slate, you guys touched on, Fox might not be the only potential issue that the Kings have to deal with. Do you think, whatever's going on behind the scenes, too many cooks in the kitchen, if you will, do you think other players have similar concerns, and could they rear its head this offseason?
Certainly. I think we're all curious, like what's the decision-making tree come this offseason and beyond. What does the roster necessarily look like? The Fox decision was a huge decision, and you thought maybe they would go with a young package, a future package, a pick package. I think part of their concern on like the Domantas Sabonis core, now that we could consider it, is and why they went out and got Levine is because they're still urgent to try to win now, to prove to a guy with Sabonis now, like 29 years old. I mean, he doesn't want to rebuild. And I feel like every week we come on, we talk about, kind of the philosophies of, should you do the tear down, the rebuild?
Right.
Should you keep trying to chase play-ins? Now, like the more cynical people across the league that I know locally, fans don't love to hear this, but they're like, yeah, it's just Chicago Bulls West now, right? You basically are just recreating a version of the Bulls in a tougher conference. And I think a guy like Sabonis, even a guy like DeRozan, who, you talk about not having much time left to try to compete, like, they're probably, they are curious about where this is going. And they have a 19-11 with Doug Christie.
Yeah.
I think the West in their little pocket is falling apart a little bit below them, right? And we know the Mavericks have, the Suns have, like, they got a path to maybe squeak in and maybe make a little first round noise. We'll see. And if they do, that, just like with anything in sports, that changes things. Just like I believe if the Kings go into New Orleans last year in the play-in game and win that game, which is a one night thing that had happened, maybe the situation entering the offseason is completely different, and people are happier. But I remember just like the frustration organizationally. I remember I'm looking right down at Harrison Barnes warming up for the Spurs. I remember talking to him leaving the arena that night and him wondering about his future. So it's just, we'll see. And I think a lot of it depends on how this really ends this year.
Slates, how surprising is it to you that the Kings have won as many games as they have through all of the tumult this year, which has been, I think it's in a way remarkable. We'll see where it goes, but how surprised are you by that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest subsection in the year was that what was a 7-8 game win streak that was
7-game win.
Yeah, in early January. That kind of flipped it around. But the truth is, even when they had Mike Brown, remember, like, the numbers said, if you just take away some of the late game misfortune that they had, and we can remember about 3 examples of it,
we don't need to go over those.
Yeah.
But yes.
But they were like, weren't they the 13th best net rating or something like that?
The analytics, the offense rating, it looked great.
Which, by the way, Monty McNair's an analytics guy, numbers guy,
Yeah.
so you could imagine like that he was seeing those numbers. But they always profiled as at least a slightly above 500 type team. Right now, they are, they're 19-11 with Christie, which is even better than that. I think 11th best net rating. They have a lot of talent. I think the question remains, among the many questions, is are they actually built to win a playoff series? Particularly on the defensive end, have they just tilted too much offensively? Do the offensive parts even mesh in more of like a cohesive way? But in the regular season, they got a lot of guys. If they're playing hard, they can go win some games.
To your point, talking about the defense, the numbers have been better as of late. How much are you buying into, what we're seeing defensively, compete level here the last week or two?
I think they've kind of gone back to the strategy, which I know at times, even in the Mike Brown years, frustrated, fans, because there'd be times that teams would go off from 3 because they kind of packed the paint, gave up the 3. Particularly, they like to give up the above the break 3.
Yeah.
But they have kind of gone back to that lately. You saw it obviously in this recent road trip, and it's just, in my opinion, the smart way to defend when you don't have like true rim protection. If you can't protect the rim as like a if you don't have a player to protect the rim, you kind of have to protect the rim as a team and live with kind of maybe sometimes the luck of the 3-point defense. Guys not hitting threes, and the other thing is, and this would be the credit to Doug Christie, like. Generally over the last 30 games, like they're just playing harder. And like, what percentage of NBA defense would you say is just like, how hard are you playing?
Right. Effort.
Yeah. Drapes and I kind of stumbled to the same conclusion on pace. This team for years, the Kings, we get up and down the floor. We get up and down the floor. And you watch them play lately, and they still say that as an organization, but they don't really play that way. I think maybe this roster is better equipped to slow it down a little bit. So I almost feel like that's what they're doing. They just don't want to talk about that. What do you think?
They traded like the fastest player in the league, or one of the top three. Like you move off De'Aaron Fox, you're gonna slow down. And then who have they brought in? Jonas Valanciunas is one of the more like prodding, brute players in the league. He's just going to slow you down if you're featuring him, and obviously they are featuring him more. No Monk right now. He's kind of your quick burst transition guy. I still think there are players on the team that will benefit from up and down. Levine, Monk, Sabonis. Even Sabonis is kind of a quick big that likes to get it, go, move the ball. But just DeRozan's slow. I mentioned Valanciunas. Like some of the guys they brought in, like it's obvious you've kind of. Even if you aren't trying to slow yourself down, like those guys naturally out on the floor are going to slow you down.
Right. Anthony Slater joining us. Slates, when you look at, and you mentioned it, maybe a path to some first round noise for the Sacramento Kings. With that being said, second toughest schedule in the league. I maintain, you never know who you're going to play, though. Like we see the Knicks on Monday, no Jaylen Brunson. If you were a gambling man, and I don't know if you are or not, what's the outcome these last 21 games for the Sacramento Kings? Like, what's more likely to happen in your eyes with this team?
I think they're going to be in the play-in mix, which we're talking 7 to 10 at this point. I think I mentioned it, like the misfortune of what's happened in Dallas, and I mean, talking about a disaster month for a sports franchise, like that has leaped the Kings above them. The Suns, I don't see winning themselves back too much in the mix. So at this point, you're almost looking at a floor of 9, which is that's positive. But they were 9 last year. You got the home game here. You blew the Warriors out, but your season was still on the line. You lost. You clearly want to be on the 7-8 side.
Right. Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Not only is it 2 cracks of getting one game, but you actually have your first crack means you avoid the Thunder. You don't want if you're on the 9-10. The only team you could play is the Thunder, right? So if you get the 7-8 side, I think their real path to postseason noise is winning that game and getting, it might be the Lakers, it might be the Grizzlies, it might be, you don't want
imagine Lakers Kings first round.
That'd be great.
Luka bowl. Oh man, that would be.
I'd love it.
Yeah.
So can they get to the 7-8? Right. Then we're talking. You guys know the teams right now.
Yeah.
Can they outplay the Timberwolves over the last several weeks? The Warriors. We'll see. Again, you mentioned it. It is a tough schedule. Like a game like tonight. Get this one.
Yes.
Spurs at home. These are the ones you need.
Forget all the drama and just get it done. Yeah. We appreciate it. We're gonna at some point here when Doug gets started, we're gonna join Doug Christie.
I should probably go down.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
All right, baby.
All right, fellas.
Especially after that cross-country trip, dude. Damn.
You write a story like that, you should probably show up at the arena.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Slate.
Great piece, Slates. We appreciate it. Yeah, so we're getting ready for it doesn't always start on top. Doug Christie should be he's probably waiting for Slates.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. He's like, where's Anthony Slater? Hold on. I know he'll be here soon.
I'm watching Sam down there courtside. He's not in there. Like, dude, y'all wrote this massive article, so Slates is going down there to represent him. Okay. All right.
Yeah. What'd you think of what Slates had to say?
The thing I'm worried about is this offseason. The thing I'm worried about is if the organization is going to have a reputation among players. What's Domas's future? What about DeMar? What about Zach? And so this season, the vibes are good with Doug Christie and the players and they're meshing, but this could look different in the offseason.
Yeah.
Like, to your point you made earlier, what's the future look like? What's the road ahead? It could go a couple of different ways. Will Doug be back as coach? And so, the uncertainty has me a little scared. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about that yet. Those are all very valid concerns, obviously, because so much of what they're going to do in the offseason hinges on what they're able to accomplish between now and the end of the season.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm just waiting to see. Let's just wait and see what they actually get done here and how many games they win. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty confident they're going to be at least in the play. There'll be some extra basketball.
Yeah.
And so, unless something terribly goes wrong and you struggle and, you bottom out here the last 21 games, I want to see this team get some momentum and let's pull off an upset or two. Let's make the actual top 8.
Is this your partner coming?
Yeah, Katie got her whole crew. What's up, Katie? What's up? She got the fam out here. They're all decked in purple. Look at this. This is amazing. What's up, girlfriend? Yeah, what's up? We got Survivor Joe here.
Oh, yeah.
Katie's
hello.
Husband there. What's up? What's up, JoJo? How you doing, baby? Good. We ready for the night. Got the family in the building. So where's Doug Christie at? Where's Doug at? Let's go, big fella.
He'll be along as far as we
late.
know. Yeah. It's very quiet in the building, but you can sense a Friday night. It's going to be buzzing in here. I think once Jay gets in here, I think that's when, just
I will say I felt like the media contingent arrived a little early today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw Deuce and Mo arriving early. Sean Cunningham been here all day. Seems like people got here early for this one. Our boy Alan Styles I saw him earlier out here. So
yeah.
Styles is,
do you think
him and De'Aaron Fox will have a greeting before the game? Styles and Fox?
I'm sure they will.
Chop it up a little bit?
Sure they will. Yeah. Do you think fans will react when the Spurs come out? We're going to get a reaction when the Spurs first come out. Here they are, the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, I think so.
Jay asked this yesterday. How does Moke introduce him? You can't really, right?
I think you got to downplay it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, he's an opponent now.
Yeah.
You can't give love to an opponent.
Guard from Kentucky, number 5,
De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's his name up. Aaron Fox or something like that.
Yeah.
Don't give him, because you're a team employee, and so I'm waiting. De'Aaron usually comes out at about 70 on the clock. I want to see the reaction when he's warming up.
Yeah, me too.
Today.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun night. We'll see what happens at this point. Fans are going to fan. I think it's going to be a little more favorable than I was thinking. I could be totally wrong, but there's definitely going to be a chorus of boos coming down tonight.
You know what else I think we'll see out here? Do you think we'll see any Spurs number 4 jerseys in the audience? Like, if you're a young kid, De'Aaron goes to San Antonio. Is it okay to wear a Spurs Fox jersey?
I'm willing to bet we don't see any.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
There's a Kings jersey right across there, right? Isn't I think as a Fox jersey, the gentleman just across from Keon, I think he has a Fox jersey. So we'll see Fox jerseys.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. De'Aaron Fox Spurs jersey. That'd be a bold play.
That's kind of that's like the A's wearing the Vegas patch. Like this, that's gonna hurt.
Why you gotta do that, Drake? I know he goes back to that.
It's true, man. It's like, dang, somebody, and if it would have happened in a better way, I could see it. You know what I mean? Like he's always going to be our guy, but it might be too soon. It might be too soon for that. So
it's hard to remember anybody ever on any team, a popular player getting traded or leaving as a free agent where everybody was okay with it, right? So it's always kind of ugly.
Yeah,
almost always kind of ugly at first, and then time heals all wounds, and then someday his jersey's gonna be up there, right?
Yeah. You got to imagine. So I look at what went down with Portland. I do think the way the Dame Lillard situation played out, I think there was all love. Like when Dame came back, they went overboard, the fan base, and so that's probably the biggest, most recent trade I could think of, a star player where there wasn't any bad blood, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The actual player.
And that was strange, wasn't it? Because didn't he sign the extension to stay and then after that decide, I don't think I want it.
Yeah, his time was up.
Yeah. All right, let's go downstairs now. Doug Christie's pregame press conference.
Talk to your team about just keeping everything in check, not knowing what the fans are going to bring, not knowing what it's going to be like to play against De'Aaron for the first time.
I mean, we're here to hoop, man. So there is always that aspect of what we do in our game, but to go where I would like us to go, and I think that we want to go, these are things that you have to learn, that you have to come and do your job, and you have to play at a really high level. These high moments, all the different things that happen, you just do your job. And that's my message to them is come, let's rock, let's do our job.
Knowing De'Aaron personally, just what do you hope for the reception for him is tonight from the fans?
I'm always love, you know what I mean? The business aspect of our game gets in the way sometimes, but it's what we sign up for. So let's not lose the fact that this is, I've seen it in many ways. It's happened to me when I was traded out of my hometown and went back, and my mom couldn't even sit in the audience. So that's a thing. It's part of what we do, and time heals a lot of things, you know. So fans are going to do what they do, because one thing that our fans are, they bow to us. Never forget that.
Doug, in terms of defensively trying to handle it or contain De'Aaron Fox, is it going to be a combination of Keegan, or do you try and throw different looks at someone like that, or stick mainly one guy on it and say that's your assignment?
Yeah, you guys have been here, seen all of his games. Foxy is incredible, man. Like, he's a special, special talent. So when it comes to that, yeah, you just got to buckle up and you do everything that you can to make it as difficult as you can on him. But I've been here for every one of his games, and I've seen everything thrown at him, and I've seen him respond to everything. So, and I have the utmost respect for him in that, because that is a special talent that's able to respond the way that I've seen him respond many times.
Coach Christie, as far as the road trip, it seemed like your team is getting better on the defensive end. They've been improving like every game. What's your thoughts about that? These improvements?
It makes me happy. That's probably number one. I think more than anything, I'm seeing a higher level of communication. I'm seeing a decisiveness, because part of defense is like just pull the trigger and then you let the next step happen, as opposed to you get froze and then no one does anything, and now there's a straight line drive, and there's no defense for a straight line drive. If you give that away, the guys, especially with the way that fouls are called, different things, you're gonna, like a block charge is the hardest call to make, even when you slow it down and look at it. Was he set? Is he moving? All these different things. So you're going to lean probably more towards the offense. So for us defensively, to be decisive, to fly around, to communicate at a high level, those are things that when I go back and look at film and we break it down for them, either collectively or individually, those are all the points that we're trying to make. And it makes me happy to see them continue to strive in that area.
Hey, what's up, Doug? It was a cool moment to shoot around, kind of seeing y'all celebrate Luke and his upcoming new venture. I'm just wondering if you happen to know how long he'll be with you until that.
I can't confirm or deny anything right now, man. Hopefully in the coming days we'll be able to see what happens with that. But we're always happy and excited for everybody. That's what we do. That's part of who I am and what I want them to be about as a team. So we shall see.
Doug Christie with some interesting thoughts, and that's pretty much what we thought, right? So,
Yeah.
hey, take care of your business tonight.
Right. It's about us. You got a ball game to win. That's what you're here for. And, he said, it should be all love for De'Aaron tonight as well.
Will it be? We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out here, sure.
Check out Kyle Draper pre and post game tonight.
Yes.
Of course, we got game night coming up next. Thank you, RJ. Thank you, Jay. Thanks for being with us today. And stick around. I think where are they at? Tom's Watch Bar. Yeah.
They got the prime assignment.
Yeah.
Gotta be over there.
On location. It's going to be a big night. And Scott Marsh and the High Flyer, get you ready for that next on Sacktown Sports.
Let me see that triple double. Jersey on and they in trouble.